Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy, Joey Options, who's in a good mood. Are we flipping? That's the way it is now, SSC. No, huh? We're on that side, they're on that side. I like it. It gives us some character over here. Where are the people, YouTube? Oh. We are waiting. Pretty Girl K, spy, please. Already. I don't trade the spy. Shout out to Ronaldo, Yannick, May, Anish, Vern, Juan, Miggy. We got Stuart. We got DTWD Medical, Jake, Jose, The Roaring Griffin, Dinkelberg, and Marius Colossus. We got Hossman. We got Daily Day Trade. Shout out to Daily Day Trade. We got All Class Adam DeLuce, baby. We got Jacques and Sonny Littletree, Rajesh Mijani. We got Trump's Tariff Slump, TTS, Westgate, Ostentations, Dang Productions. We got Cosmic Consciousness, as well as Northwest Sasquatch, as opposed to, you know, the Southeastern Yeti. Wouldn't that kind of be the opposite of the Northwestern Sasquatch? Fact check me, chat. We got Bob the Dog. We got Emma, Nephew, the capital P, Jarhead Trader, CC, Roger Noonan, Ayo Lewis. Ayo. We got Cajun Trader, Mr. Ian, Farm Trader, Change It Back. Bring it back. Grey Worm. We got DJ 2 AM and Jarhead Trader as well. Emma. Who else? Sally. Kevin. Paul. One more, Joseph.
One more.
Samuel Wambua. My man, I probably butchered your last name, but I get maybe an F for effort or E for effort. What do they say? What are they saying these days?
Effort, the participation trophy. No one wants those anymore. I don't know why they're giving them out. Right? The participation trophy.
Generation of participation trophy recipients.
Yeah.
Generation.
Apparently. Congratulations, guys. It's actually, I shouldn't say that, because in trading you have to get comfortable with losing.
Absolutely.
But in the world of sports, have that iron mind. And just stick.
I love it.
And that's it. Winners only, members only. For those who know about that little XX Tentacion documentary that I watched the other day. Very, very interesting. Enough of that talk, guys. Hey. What do we got going on? Screen, IBIT, breakout, 60-30. That is going to be the primary target here. I obviously had to take a look at the options chain. With that being said, guys, we've got a lot to talk about, obviously, today. And it's going to be an intriguing one. Maybe we can get this ball rolling here on Bitcoin. We got that breakout, some selling. But now I have to be a little bit patient. Rough start to the morning. That's fine. We're putting on shares here. And that's the objective of this game. You can put on losers. Full disclosure, started 0 for 4, but if I were to close this out right now, that is going to take away over 50% of my losses, and that's just on one trade. At 60-63, if we have the ability to be Iron Mike, Deontay Wilder, and Diamond Hands this, then maybe, just maybe, well, we most definitely will be green there, guys. But enough of that talk. Let's take a look at the options chain, because that is exactly what we do around these neck of the woods, guys. What do we got? Okay, so we got at 60, we have 23,000, larger than everything else we're seeing relative to the open interest, with the exception of that 61 strike price. What is that telling me? Maybe we get that magnet effect here in Bitcoin and we head towards that 61. If that's going to be the case here today, then we're going to be sitting on some pretty pennies. We're almost at our target. Take that big move, breakout. But one thing that I will always note, and when we are looking for these breakout trades, guys, we want the volume to start stepping in. It may sound like a broken record, but this is how operating trades works, all right? So if you're a breakout trader, whether you're looking for the downside or the top side, punching through key resistance zones, that's why the opening drive is so important, because it can tell you so much, and you get that volume and that momentum. That's what we got going on IBIT. Now trading at 60.15, that's a positive sign. If it's working, just let it work. Gorev, my guy, guess what?
What?
Who bought some Google last night? Your boy did. Why? Let's break it down here. We're going on a swing, but this beautiful hammer candle that we're seeing right now, especially after that data breach right there, guys, the passwords were kind of exposed. Not a good look with Google, but oversold. I don't think that's going to be sustained very long. That's why I'm looking to participate in this potential bounce. Nice hammer candle. We have an engulfing print, isolated volume signatures. This is exactly what we want to look for. And now we're starting to break out 167.55 on Google. That's my play here on this name, Sharif?
All right, I'm involved right now in my friend Pony. We'll see if it's my friend or not. Okay, well, we took a couple of prints, so, you know, it's at least in my decent books right now. PONY up 12.85%. You know, it's well off the highs. The high was 13.25. We come back into the volume weighted average price. A 2-candle hold up at VWAP gets me into the trade. We have a tight stop on this one. Let's see how this cookie crumbles. Look, guys, I'm kind of displeased with the pickings today for the small cap gappers. Pickings are slim, so to speak. We're going to give this one the old community college try, or junior college try, as my man to the left always says. EYN looking to be the #1 gapper right now on at least my scanner, to the tune of 64%, a little bit less, 915 high. Go, you want to go ahead?
No.
Okay.
Just there's nothing spectacular. Just a little pop. Google, that's what it is. Being led by the likes of Google. A nice breakout here, guys. Screen, please. There you go. So you can see we're punching through some resistance. Let's zoom out and hop on the 5-minute time frame. I took a couple stabs on that. We'll break down my trades later. But we started to form that ascending wedge. I had really tight risk, and I was putting on sides. Unfortunately, I didn't want to give it another opportunity. It did work out, but I took my stabs, and that's all I can really say. But we'll break that trade down here momentarily.
Yeah, stab that away, Joseph. Make sure there are a lot of holes in that chest right there. No, I'm kidding.
No.
That was
We
graphic.
don't. Yeah, very.
All right. EYEN 915 high. This is going to be the setup, it looks like right now. Even when it did lose VWAP, it seemed to have found support at the 20 exponential. It could be that or the $0.50, double bottom at the $0.50. Since that time, though, since that low that we put in at around 10:30, there's one candle that's red on the 5-minute chart, and that would be the 1050 AM candle there. So it looks like we're about to break 915. I was waiting for something around a 10 exponential. It looks like it bull flagged here. And maybe continuing into another bull flag without me. I'm going to see what it does with 9. It's zigging and zagging right now, a little above 9, a little bit below. We'll see how this cookie crumbles. EYEN is the ticker I'm talking about. There's more. There's, again, guys, the pickings are slim a little bit today, but the AMRN about 27% in Greensville, 1711 high, dipping $1 lower now into 1612. I'm likely a buyer between 15 mid-80s to 16 bucks, just given that the volume weighted average price is there. So we're going to keep an eye out on that one, and we're going to send you to Adara, and we'll talk more when we get back.
Yes, Sharif, let's talk here about this market. We do have Financial Times reporting that the EU is preparing some retaliatory tariffs to push for a better deal with Trump, with a senior official warning that the EU must make a credible threat of retaliation if they actually want to have a position within the talks. We also have Fed Chair Powell point to a particular month when it comes to when he thinks rates should be cut. So he's contrasting comments from Fed's Bowman and Fed's Waller, suggesting they're both comfortable with lowering rates as soon as the July meeting, should the inflation and data continue to support that. He also said that if it turns out inflation pressures are contained, they'll get to a place where they can cut rates, but he is not telling anyone any timeline beyond. We know that they're expecting sometime later this year. Does not seem like he's a fan of the July cut idea. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. Just got into a big bear AI position. We got in at 90s. Look, I got to tell you, I don't have a good feeling about today because just the setups, the quality. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe I'll change my tune in a little bit, but we'll keep an eye out on that. So again, AMRN just came into the volume weighted average price, or close to the volume weighted average price, up 25% and change. Still north of that level, though, printing 16 1/3. We'll keep tabs on that. RZ or RZ, LV, shout out to my Americans there, just got to VWAP 260 or thereabouts. It's a 286 high. We do have prior area support at this VWAP level. Take a gander at the consolidation low of this bull flag, right? We have that big move up, then we have that consolidation, then we have a move up again. So bull flag continuation. Looks like the level there was around 2 high 50s, maybe 60s, give or take something in and around that level. I'm going to keep tabs on that one as well, looking at weaseling into that one. LCTX. This one, very lightly traded, and it is spready for a dollar name. It's $1.13, mind you. So very cheap. It shouldn't be it should not have the spread that it has, but alas, it's suffering from a lack of liquidity, so it will be a little bit of a spready one. Oh, JF Trader coming in again with cash, and Canadian cash, might I add. JF Trader, thank you very much, my man, for the $50 super chat. I live in Vancouver, Joseph.
Oh, let's go.
Waking up at 5 a.m. for the show was not easy at the beginning. Ha ha ha. I've gotten used to it now, and it's all worth it. Was typing up this message when Sean asked where I'm located, and then the stream got transferred. No worries, my man. Thank you very much for the super chat. Very kind of you, JF Trader, a fellow Canadian. I personally do not like trading from the West. When I visit my sister-in-law in California, you got to get up 3 hours. 6:30 is when the bell rings, and obviously you're not going to get up when the bell rings, right? You got to get up a little bit before that.
Hey, man.
I find that harder. Now, when I go to Egypt, I go east. I find it way easier because you're done your day there. Then the market opens here, so you're all good to go.
So there you go. Well, as they say, Sharif,
yes, sir.
The early bird
gets the dang worm.
Dang. So there you go. Shout out to Vancouver. I have family in West Van, so shout out to Bowen Island in Horseshoe Bay because I know that I'm a little familiar with those neck of the woods there. And I actually rode Cypress on my own, which was very, very fun. And I'll be honest, I kind of chickened out going to the very peak of the mountain because I was on my own, and I'm like, it was above the clouds, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna pass on that and just ride the rest of the mountain. We'll figure that out when somewhat later, guys. But let's go. We're gonna be sitting in this grind. The thing, it's gonna be tough because I know we're gonna experience a hefty pullback, especially if this volume profile doesn't start to pick up. Then we're going to experience a pullback probably, especially considering the market's relatively choppy. Amazon is breaking out, so shout out to Amazon. That took a while to get going. And there you go. As I'm explaining it, I had that feeling, just due to the way the price was moving, that we were going to get a pullback. Hopefully it's not too deep and comes all the way back to the volume weighted average price, because that will not be a good time considering how I've aggressively sized into this position. As you guys know, I tend to do. So yeah, let's see what we can get going. A move all the way up to 60.30 is the game plan. Let's see if we can hold on to this, but a pullback to VWAP will not be too good for our boy over here. But Amazon, looking really, really nice here, guys. Breaking out, heading towards the high of the day, holding this base here, so you can see we're forming that double bottom. So that's a positive signal right here, and I think at this pace, we are going to head towards that high of the day, so keep an eye out on that one. But I also wanted to break down IBIT. We're running into Friday's high, and then now you can see we're slightly starting to reject it. Not Friday's high, sorry, but a consolidation zone from Friday's session. Let's pull this up on the 15-minute, and you can see it displayed. So we're knocking right on the door of this pre-market zone right here. So let's see if we can break through that. With that being said, it's the same narrative, guys. If we want to break through key resistance and key support levels, then we're going to need that volume and more participants to step in order to do so. So again, nothing outstanding from an open interest. We can most definitely absorb what we got at 60 and 61 and head north, but we have to be patient, see if participants want to step in, break through this key zone, and then that's when you can take that next step and that next level higher there, Sharif.
All right, man. We're just trying to work our...
Sorry, I haven't done any executions yet, Assassino. That's why you don't see my position, but okay, yeah. I'll do so.
People want to know, Joseph. All right. It's like pressure, right? All right, I've just weaseled into EYN over here. This one is really breaking out. It just took out the high of the day. Again, we're long at 28s. I didn't get the fill that I wanted in the single digits. That's why you're going to continue to see that unfilled print there. That is that aqua line, turquoise, whatever, at that level. Now, I don't mind building into this position. I'm in for a very small entry right here. I just got stopped at a pony for the last remaining amount. Now, I had shares on this one, so we're negative on the day to start here. I don't even need to look. I already know. So we're trying to do a little bit better, okay? So right now I'm working my way into EYN, small shares to start, looking for that dip trade to trigger at 15s, but it's really going here. It's about to break out into 40s. So let's put a beak wetter at 45. That will be a test of the high of the day. Boom! To the high side. Too bad we don't have a lot of shares on this one. Full disclosure, guys, I'm never gonna inflate my positions. What's happening over there, Ram? So here we go. We just popped up into 67. 68 is the high of the day. I have my sell order at 69. We're printing mid-50s. Let this one zig and zag, but this one does look like it is on the warpath to the high side. EYN 75%. I think I mentioned this to you guys when it was in lower, I think it was like about 30 something. Boom, we're taking out all the levels of Adara. So now we're going to set up at 88s, and maybe when we get back from Adara, we'll have printed.
Good, Sharif. Hopefully those 88s hit. Right now, just keep an eye on the market. We are hearing some reports from Reuters suggesting there could be a little bit more geopolitical turmoil, unfortunately, Reuters reporters saying that there is an explosion heard in the capital of Syria. So we're going to have to wait and see. I don't have any more details on this, but just be aware here, some more explosions in Syria we're hearing right now. Also worth noting, I'll give you guys a quick Fed update. Oh, that's my bad. Hello, sorry, I cut myself off there. That was my bad. I had more to say. Fed Chair Jerome Powell right now being asked, I guess, what he thinks of the tariff policies. He said he is not going to talk about that unless or to the extent that it impacts inflation. It has been a very spicy time here with the Congress, if I do say so myself. Pretty entertaining stuff. Back to you.
Gary, yeah. So I'm assuming the missile or the explosions were heard in Damascus. I'm assuming because that is the capital of Syria. There's obviously Aleppo as well, as Joseph pointed out. Yeah, you don't like to hear that. I personally don't like to hear it, but yeah, if it influences the market, then we'll talk about it. But currently, it's not really having that kind of influence. Syria, not really known for oil. No, or anything like that. Yeah, you're not going to get too much in the way of natural resources, at least anyway, from my understanding. Maybe fact check me, chat, from Syria.
Rubble, that's why. It's all rubble now.
Yeah, they've had a civil war for the better part of a decade and a half. Yeah, so it's not a good look. It's not a good look. They just they got rid of al-Assad, though. And now there's that new guy that Donald met on his Middle Eastern trip there. All right, guys, so we got stopped at a pony, but we're doing it live right now on Big Bear AI. We're taking out levels. We just took out the high of the day there at 96s. Let's keep an eye out on this one. I've got Big Bear on at the moment. We've got EYEN. Big Bear a bit more of a bigger position than EYEN. A little disappointed with the fact that it didn't put in the full size on EYEN, but maybe we'll get an opportunity for the reload there. Alas, it still has not filled at 88. We were waiting for that. Best print I got right now is 69. It did move up into 84, hence why we did not get printed there. But so we'll keep an eye out on EYEN and Big Bear AI. Syria has plenty of oil, says the others. Are you sure about that, brother? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you got, Joseph?
Yeah, I'm just still sitting in this trade here, guys. I added a little bit more just so you can also see the position. Nothing crazy, just a handful. To see if we can get this move up. That's going to be the primary target, 60-30. And I mentioned key resistance zones that we're going to have to break through in order to achieve that level. So got to be patient on this one. VWAP, I'm going to have to hop out of this trade, unfortunately, and take an ugly loss. But it is what it is. It is the game that we decided to play.
Oh.
DJ TM, no, you're the DJ 2AM. You're the man, my guy. I appreciate that. Much love as always, but yeah, let's see what we got going on. I was looking for Tesla today. I'll pull up my Tesla chart, and I got really aggressive just looking for the continuation in strength here this morning. So you can see we had some hammer candles, and I was punching size right here, and I took some hits on that. So risk profile extremely tight on this one, didn't work out. So I did go 0 for 2 on Tesla and 0 for 2 on Google. But it is what it is, right? Like you have to swing. If you're not going to hit those home runs if you don't swing at the ball, and you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. All right, so just keep that in mind, guys. As you get more comfortable, you'll be able to accept the fact that it's like, all right, you're checking off all these boxes. Tesla was strong yesterday, looking for the continuation in strength, and it just didn't happen, all right? So, again, I put myself in the right place. It does look like it's curling over now. I put myself in the right position. I put in the shares. It just didn't go, the bounce didn't go my way, and that's hockey, that's basketball. It's a game of bounces. So if you happen to be in the right place at the right time, obviously that comes with skill and practice, then things work out. I mean, if Tesla decided that it was going to climb higher today, then we would have been putting on some monster trades, but that just isn't the case yet, just yet. But I do believe that we can continue to climb. Maybe we'll get a program step in later on in the session, because I don't think it's just going to phase out like that. We had the robo-taxi start up on Sunday. We come into Monday, we're rolling, we're up 10% on the day, big time moves, and then sure enough, we're down a couple of percentage points here today. So nothing to worry about just yet. I do believe that we're going to continue this climb higher, and especially when my boy Danny Ives is like, we could double in the span of 2 trading weeks. I like the sound of that. It's most definitely going to drag the market higher, and I'm going to look to participate. I mentioned this yesterday as well too before we send it back to Sharif, is that, okay, yeah, we're going to look for the strength. It may not happen tomorrow, but if you keep your eyes on it throughout the week, I'm sure you're going to be able to catch a nice trade on Tesla. That is to the top side. All
right, man. EYEN is really going here, guys. We're done our trade at at 988, and this thing is absolutely flying to the high side. It's 10 and a quarter right now that it's zigging and zagging at. What's the high of the day? Pardon me. It is a 10 and a third, 1035 to be exact. Again, this is where I struggle the most, guys. Basically trying to determine whether these are micro pullbacks or whether there's going to be a wider retracement. So, you know, there's going to have to be an element of DCAing into this because I don't anticipate being able to catch the exact bottom of the micro pullback. So let's watch right now as it zigs and zags with that high of the day. It's a 1035 high, so let's keep an eye out on this one. We're right back in this one right now with small share size again, so we're not going to take too big until it sets up in a better way. And I'm talking about like a 10 EMA reversal, something like that. Boom, boom. We're taking out all the levels right now. Let's set up at 88. Boom again, Joseph. Here we go. All right, EYN right now, it is on the warpath, 1055 high a day. It's closing in on 100% right now. We were talking about this, I went at 30-something%. Keep your eye out on this one. We're at the third of a dollar, Joseph. It's having trouble with that $0.50, though. A seller, boom, of note to the high side. All right, EYN, Joseph Wilson, doing its thing, 25. Get it.
Get it. Get it, Ian. Hey, Ian. Yeah, let's go. Let's see what we got going on, guys. We're still cooking up, holding on to this position here. You see the average price. We're kind of struggling, but come on, we need that volume to pick in. So where are all my Bitcoin bulls? See if we can crack through this 60-18 level, or 60-16, sorry, I should say. And then I think we're off to the races. We're going to start piecing some off at 20, but now we're starting to see us start to engulf. There we go. Where is the volume supporting it? Look at the size here now. We got 1,900 shares. We got 1,100 shares. We got 1,600. So some size coming in. They're on Bitcoin, and this is what we're looking for here, my brother. Yeah, let's go. And honestly, I didn't even get outside yesterday for a run. Totally gutted on that one. You like that gutted?
Yeah. So gutted. English, bro. I love it.
Gutted.
Oh my days, gutted. This guy's full English right now.
I got the gift of the gab.
Yeah,
I got the gift of the gab. There's another one.
Another one. No, your boy ADL is going to be quite impressed.
Yeah. Where's ADL out here? All my friends across the pond. But let's go Bitcoin. Oh, there we go. We're punching through. Now we need the volume to support. What a big time engulfing candle. This is so much like. Honestly, I can't even. Everybody's so thankful, and I'm so thankful to be able to be a part of it. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but man, what a privilege to sit next to Sharif, sit on this floor with everybody here at Dara, Ramin, the production team, Assassino, Fabian, Neil, Obi. He's now not with us. He's in the back. Hello from the other side.
We have a moment of silence for Obi's desk back.
Yeah, he's switching, but he's not going anywhere. Trust us on that, guys. But let's go Bitcoin. Crack through this 1616 level. We're aiming for 1630. We've now added multiple occasions onto this trade. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go Bitcoin.
All right, guys. I'm still in my Big Bear AI position. We're done our EYEN trade, guys. We have a an inverse hammer candle currently forming on EYEN on the 5. I don't want to overstate this though, because it's been my observation that these topping tail inverse hammer candles, at least, anecdotally, I don't have the stats to back this up. They're not the end all and be all on these small cap gappers and the way they would be maybe if you saw them on a Google or an Apple or something else like that. So what I'm trying to keep my eye on right now is whether we're going to hold 10. So we got a topping tail ugly into 1075, and now we're trying to hold 10 for the moment. So I'm packing my patience over here, trying to decide what to do. Do I punch in at 10.05? Maybe give it to 9.95. We'll risk 10 pennies for a hold of 10. But it seems like the bid here is being lost, especially being preceded by that topping tail candle. Down we go below 10. Do we bounce right back up? Let's observe, right? No, we're dipping into the 80s, man. So let's see if we make a new low. So the prior candle low, 982. We're showing 90s right now. Are we going to break the prior candle low? We are going to break the prior candle low. Not by much. Do we catch a bid? Right? There's a lot of algos that base their exits on the break of prior candle low. And a lot of traders do that on the floor here. They'll put their stop at prior bar low. And a lot of traders are doing it. It stands to reason that the algorithms may have that incorporated as well. So let's see if we work right back above 10. I'm keeping my eye on this one. It's certainly the best looking small cap gapper inside market, at least over $1. $1 because I really don't monitor these sub $1 ones unless my man Bovin in the chat brings it to me. Shout out to Bovin. I haven't seen you in a hot minute, Bovin. Where you been at, my man? Tag me, Bovin, if you're in the chat, because I don't think I saw you yesterday or towards the end of last week. So I'm keeping an eye on that. There is a new small cap gapper that has halted its way onto the scene right now. It goes by the ticker WFF. So this one, look, this is okay, so this candle here is wrong. This candle that you're seeing right there, that's not the high of the day. So we're going to go ahead. I don't want to remove that candle because it's going to skew everything up. But this topping tail candle right there, that is not correct. Let's flip to the 1. You do not see it on the 1. Okay? So this is incorrect right now. So, okay, well, once I updated it, it went away. Interesting. We are halted at 1172 on WFF. It's WF Holding. They are a fiberglass manufacturer. They produce stuff in Malaysia. They make tanks, pipes, ducts, gratings, and other custom-made FRP products. Fantastic. Let's find out more about the technicals. We got a float here. I'm seeing 240,000, so that's kind of crazy. Let me compare that to my other. I don't have it actually on my other one. Is this a recent? Oh, yeah, okay. So this one just started trading in late March 27th. It looks like it weaseled its way onto the scene. I don't know if it was an IPO or what, but WFF hasn't been with us for that long. In any event, halted 1172. Does it have a catalyst? I'm looking. Yeah, okay. Adara, you're gonna like this one. Look at the screen.
Oh, there you go.
Another one, because you and I were talking about this today. Everybody, a healthcare company. You were giving me the example of the healthcare company.
I'm going to talk about it. So even today, some small cap announced that they've entered into a partnership with Dog with Hat. Like, this is what they're doing now. All these small caps, and some of them, the Dog with Hat one was a crypto-related company, but a lot of these companies, they're not in crypto, and they're trying to start treasuries. Everybody wants to be Michael Saylor. That is why Sharif thought I would appreciate that. And I do, so thank you, Sharif, for bringing that to my attention. I have an infographic in the works about this, so at some point, hopefully it will be posted. There's a lot of the docket, including, guys, infographics for a lot of the earnings names this week, so stay tuned. BlackBerry and FedEx coming out very soon. I'll probably debut them on the show. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. So, yeah, this company that makes fiberglass products, Joseph, is absolutely, the natural extension of making fiberglass products in Malaysia, ducts, pipes, is to obviously buy Bitcoin. If you can't make that connection, Joseph, something's wrong with you.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And didn't a car company, a small cap car company, start a Bitcoin reserve as well too yesterday?
Absolutely, and she was telling us about the healthcare company too, right?
So it's just like, hey, but that's the thing. Everyone's truly buying this thing hand over fist. Why? Come on. You can do it, as I would say. You can do it. As I say to Milo, you can do it. Let's go.
No, but everybody wants to do it, right? Remember, back in the day when everybody got into Bitcoin, when Bitcoin had its rally during the pandemic, then AI. Everybody all of a sudden was in AI. It's like what's in vogue at the moment, right?
We experience those things, right?
Absolutely.
So it's very interesting stuff, guys. One thing to note here on Bitcoin as well, right at that 1616 level, we've double topped, so that could be extremely dangerous. We cracked the neckline. I might have to get out, right? I don't want to be stubborn and hold on to things that might not potentially work. So we can try to iron our diamond hand everything, but if we don't follow what the price action is, we don't want to hold trades against us that might not come into fruition, right? So just keep that in mind here, guys. We need to break this 1616 level, and I just want to talk about. So I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, so why do we have this engulfing candle like this, and then the volume is essentially extremely low, but then we just sell right back off, right? So to me, that's just manipulation. There's no reason to put in a candle like that, and that's when I always reference effort and result. All right, so what is the result in this print? A big time engulfing print, but where is the effort, right? Like the effort isn't there, and that's not a positive sign. So a really, really small candle, that is, to me, that's a signal that, hey, we're going to trick some people. We're going to catch some people offside here, especially for that breakout. And you can see that being displayed as I talk about it, right? So, yeah, not too good of a look here on Bitcoin. I do believe we're going to head back towards the volume-weighted average price at this pace. So, yeah, I just got to be patient. I'll just get out of it, break even, worst case scenario. And then that's the thing about getting out break even, right? You're just essentially right where you started back. You didn't take a loss. You didn't win anything. You're just flat. And sometimes that's a good place to be in. So just keep that in mind, guys. We crack some of these levels, I'll just have to hop out of this trade, reassess the situation. And then when I break things down, it's like, okay, where are we sitting on it from a daily standpoint? What does Bitcoin look like? When I looked at some of the charts last night, I'm like, oh, okay, we're back up to 105, but there is still some selling pressure to be cautious about. So let's pull up actual spot Bitcoin itself to see what we got going on. And then that's when I talk about going through a checklist in the morning, right? So, and it's really important to follow through it. And sometimes I'm not the best at that, but I think it's really ideal to do so. All right, so ask yourself, are we sitting in breakout territory in Bitcoin? I don't know. We just got this big engulfing candle. We have this hammer print, so what is going to happen? It's usually a breath, and I'm looking at something along these lines. When you look at those 3-bar plays, you go big move, okay, then a chop day, inside day, another chop day, and then, okay, a couple of days later, you get that additional move. And it's the same in the likes of a couple of other names that I've been mentioning as well, too. So this could just be a totally an inside day, and then you take a breath and continue. Oh, Coin. Coin was the one that I was referencing, right? So this name is really, really strong. You get that big engulfing candle. Yeah, you have a couple positive days, but they're not large. But you get that ABCD type pattern, A, B, C, D, right? So, and I think that's going to be the case here in Bitcoin. We are starting to pull in now. We're right at my break even, which is unfortunate, knocking on that Friday post-market high, or post-market consolidation low, I should say. So support level coming right into play and knocking Bitcoin back down and possibly heading to VWAP.
Yes, sir. All right, we're taking off SY. We're putting on WFF. This is going to be likely, guys, a 10-minute halt on, well, we're not going to call it our friend quite yet, because we haven't really been introduced. 1172, the halt level, guys. It's showing a tap of 1242. So needless to say, the buy orders, the market on open orders here, or the limit on open orders that are coming in during the halt, which is an auction, you're pairing the sell and the buy orders during that halted time. They're very, very much in favor and being obviously leaning towards the buy side right now. Tap dropping down a little bit, 1233 in case you're a newer trader. Volatility halts come in waves of 5 minutes. So one easy way to see exactly when a stock opens, you weasel over to the time and sales. If you don't have the time and sales, you weasel on over to my screen and I'll show it to you. 11:26:26. Let's add 5 minutes on top of that. What time is it right now? It's 11:33:59, 11:34 now. So clearly we are past the 5 minutes. So at earliest, we will open 11:36:26. That's in about 2.5 minutes from right now. So let's see what WFF does. It seems very positive, 80 some odd percent. As I mentioned, the top substantially higher than the halt price of 1172. So let's keep an eye on this one, man. WFF looks good. It's kind of rivaling right now EYEN for the #1 gapper. It's ahead of it by 14% because EYEN lost the bid. And somebody was asking me there in the chat, I forget who it is, like EYEN looks like it's dropping. It's all over for EYE. And went, well, I don't know if it's all over, but it got a bit of a bounce off the 10 EMA on the 5, popped up from, I want to say the 10 EMA was around 910. It popped right back up into 955, 960, and down we go again. So the volume weighted average price is at around 8 3/4, just give or take around that level. So keep your eye on a VWAP hold here. If EYEN drops below VWAP, that is the end of the trade for me. I'm not involved in it right now, but I won't be looking at it until and if it can work its way back above VWAP. So EYEN in focus, coming into some good technical levels. Let's see what this one does. We're doing it live right now on my friend Big Bear AI. I see your Stuart. Stuart wants me to talk about AEVA. I will in 1 second because it's a good looker. But Big Bear AI, we're taking prints here on my friend Big Bear. This one seems like it's ascending wedge. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but there's all sorts of respect here on the 10 EMA, on the 5, on Big Bear AI. Stuart, we're going to send it to Adara for 1 second. She's going to give us breaking news, but the second we get back, we're going to be covering AEVA.
Not a small cap, Sharif, but I might have a runner for you by the name of Ambarella, AMBA. This name trading about $60 right now. It's a chip maker, and Bloomberg reported that the company is considering a potential sale to the point where they're already working with bankers to gauge buying interest. So AMBA with a potential sale. The float on this is not super significant when it comes to short float. It's like 3.3% short float, but either way, AMBA on watch. Beware of this name. Nice little push to the upside, as you can certainly see. Back to you.
Yeah, it's expensive, but I like that. Okay, let's just cover AEVA for your boy Stuart here. Stuart, this is a great call, man. So this is not exactly a small cap gapper, especially with the market cap being a large $1.7 billion. They are engaged in the design, manufacturing of LiDAR, say less. We all know what that, why it's up today for that. Your boys Google and Uber doing it out. They're doing it live in Atlanta, in hot Atlanta. Shout out to Nicole Harris if you're in the chat. So this is a LiDAR company. Do they have a headline? They do not have a headline today, but we all know why. Again, it's that Google or Waymo, I should say, excuse me, Waymo and Uber, tying it up there in hot Atlanta for the what's it called? The AV, the autonomous vehicle taxi. It's going to be Uber, the app that you're going to be using there. Whereas, if you're San Fran and you want a Waymo, you're using the Google Waymo app. So it's going to be Uber that you're going to summon in Atlanta there. So that's the first time I think that they're doing that. So AEVA, look, Stuart, to me, it's a 10 EMA, right? It's been very respectful of the 10 EMA, and I don't see any reason why the trade should get more complicated. If it loses a 10 EMA, I stop out, and then if it holds at the 20, I get back in for another move up to test high a day. Otherwise, I'm looking at VWAP. So AEVA, fantastic look. Before we send it back to Joseph Wilson, WFF, that psycho, is halted again to the high side. I can't even keep track of this because we gotta analyze, we gotta strategize, and then we gotta capitalize.
And we gotta capitalize.
Shout out Trade the Pool. No, seriously though, halted again, Joseph, 1408. WFF, now the #1 gapper in the entire market, above $1, 116.25% right now, halted 1408. The theoretical auction price showing me that it will halt down or will open down. We'll have to see how that actually does in real life. 1380, Joseph, the theoretical auction price on your friend. Woof.
Damn, a big 116% there. Yeah, good luck there, brother. So I think VWAP might be incoming on Bitcoin here, guys. Google's trading nice. I mean, Amazon couldn't quite yet crack that high of the day. But one thing that I think, one name that I believe that we can get rolling here, and that's going to be Tesla. So you can see that we're starting to curl over. Let's see how it reacts around the volume-weighted average price. Usually when we've been hovering around below VWAP, I should say, for this amount of time, chances of cracking it and then holding it are slightly slimmer. So just keep that in mind there, guys. Looking for this level to hold here on Bitcoin. That's going to be 59.94. Just going to be keeping my eyes on this. I'm not going to be chasing Tesla up here. It's more or less you want to try to catch the bottom of this range, but a nice slow curl over, and you can see a nice definitive base being established right there.
Fabian.
So, Joseph, Anthony, would you possibly speak on UNH for swing trade analysis looking at calls? Okay, yeah, let's take a look at UNH. Good stuff, Bitcoin. Love trading you when you are working out, so being sarcastic as obviously. But yeah, let's take a look at UNH to see what we got going on from a daily standpoint. I know a lot of traders around here were looking for that potential bounce in UNH. So here you go. You get that big inverted candle here. You get the gap fill, and then sure enough, we just moved into a consolidation. I mean, I'm not going to, we know what's looming with this name here. So just be patient. Ask yourself, do you want to participate in a name that's moving sideways, right? So you obviously are looking for the break to the high side. One thing to note that is positive, you're not going to be paying extreme amounts of premium, right? Considering the fact that after these volatility spikes, you get it cooling, so you get the volatility decay. So that's good, opposed to just buying it days after you have multiple massive gap down days. But yeah, so be patient on that UNH. I think if you get a liquidity grab, you want to give your risk a little bit more room here on this trade. So you want to go to about like 276. So you're looking about a quarter in risk right there. So $25 for me to prove that you're wrong. And if you're looking for calls, are you willing to sit through a $25 potential pullback? See how it reacts around here. You can wait for that breakout through the key resistance zones, but with that being said, you obviously want volume to step in, all right? So that's really, really key and extremely important, especially with a name like this. So why is NVDA not doing ish? Well, we won't replay. Well, Q's is moving higher and higher. Yeah, that's a great question. Maybe it's just consolidating to make that move higher, right? So it's just absorbing some liquidity, waiting to make that move. I can say the same thing about Bitcoin. Why is is Bitcoin tanking when we have the likes of some of these tech names continuing to appreciate higher? But that's so frustrating. Is this resistance zone right here on IBIT here? We'll zoom out and get to the 15-minute time frame. But yeah, just acting essentially as a brick wall right there. So not a good look. Now we need this 59.91 level to hold, but that engulfing 5-minute candle not looking too pretty on there. I heard Adair talking about a bull flag on the 15-minute. I see what she's looking at. So yeah, just be patient. At this pace, I wouldn't be surprised if it broke down and then you get a break through some of these key support levels. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hop out of this trade here momentarily. Already held it for too long. So yeah, that's unfortunate that Bitcoin didn't get rolling here for us. Google's put in a massive volume spike. There must be something here on Google.
Let me have a
well,
look.
yeah, let's pull it up here. So here you go. Let's take a look at Google. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. So a nice big spike right here. And you can see the volume start to pick up here as well too, guys, as Bitcoin's starting to head lower and lower. So yeah, that's unfortunate. That's going to take me a loss. And with that being said, I probably won't be trading live that much longer there, guys.
All right. I wanted to mention UNH too, because you were talking about it. So a buddy of mine, I'm actually really proud of this guy, bro. He's like, I think your age. He's 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
He's one of the principals at a hedge fund in the city, 15 billion AUM.
Oh, I think you were telling me about this.
I told you about this guy. So that's the good side of the story.
Yeah.
The bad side of the story is they took the biggest position ever.
On UNH. No. But
and that's his, on the way down.
On the way down?
On the way down, not at the highs. But he's got a lot of money, so they can kind of work through the trouble. But the thing is, there's no guarantee this thing comes back up, right?
All the way
and Donald's already made it very clear. You know, they want costs down, right, for that kind of stuff. So it's a bit of a tough look there for a lot of people that have been holding that UNH stock, man. It's ugly. And that's his sector too. You know, every guy's responsible. You're responsible for tech. This guy's responsible for energy. He's got healthcare, so it's all on him, right? Like he hit the buy button.
You're just gonna have to start selling a lot of calls against that. Unfortunately,
I'll put you in touch with him.
Yeah, you won't. No, you won't be collecting that much premium now there. But
no, clearly not.
No, it's not anymore. Adair, what do you got first?
Yep.
There's a headline for Google, but I missed it right away. And also, I think some of the market data just showed up about a minute ago because it's being touted as more of a headline, I think, for Microsoft. So the information reporting that OpenAI, of course, Microsoft heavily invested in the company, has, quote, quietly designed a rival to Google Workspace and Microsoft Office. This might be viewed as more of a blow for Microsoft, again, because of its investment in OpenAI. But either way, I don't have much detail on this. If I see more, I'll let you know. But the information reporting that OpenAI trying to rival Google Workspace and Microsoft Office with a product that it designed. If I have more, I'll let you know. Both these names, though, trying to bounce back right now. Back to you.
All right, WFF is back on the warpath. It is halted again to the upside. So this one did zig and zag a little bit, okay? So I believe it did open up where? Right there. It opened up at 1409, dropped down, lost 13, 1285. Then the bamboozlement is fast and furious. We know about that. Halted to the upside yet again, 1463. The current halt level, the theoretical auction price just 1 penny above that level right now at 1464. This one is on one right now. Keep your eye out on this one. It could be, you know, a big boy mover during the midday. It is a trade de novo. That means it's a new trade. It was not moving in the pre-market. So the volume just coming in now for this name. So we'll keep tabs on that and see what's good there. I'll keep you guys apprised if I do weasel into that trade. I've weaseled back into Pony. I'm taking some prints on this side. It feels like it found some support at the volume weighted average price and now is putting in higher highs and higher lows. So it behooves me to set up some beak wetters on this. Let's go ahead and set up in the mid 80s as well. We'll see what we get, and we will not get upset. Shout out to my man Neil. So this one does feel like it is putting a bit of a rounding pattern with give or take. Not exactly. Give or take, the volume weighted average price being that area support off which it is curling, showing me 76s. Right now, I'm waiting at 77s. Respectable spread, 2 pennies, 74 on the bid, 76 on the ask. We're going to keep an eye out on that. But BBAI is coming into, and I've accounted for this. So I've already set up a planned dollar cost average in the mid 80s. I will not be basing my DCA on BBAI on the moving averages. I will base it rather on this technical area of previous resistance, or I perceive it to be previous resistance. I'm talking about the low 80s, 4 low 80s. And I front run it by putting my order at 82. I'm out of the majority of the position. That's why I feel comfortable DCing into this. And then a loss of VWAP gets me out of the trade. It's really that simple. And VWAP right now, I think, is like a penny or two below that 80 penny area. So I'm getting in at 82s, VWAP's at like 77 or 78, so I'm not risking that much in order to see exactly what happens here. So I'm keeping my eye on BBAI. Don't think that I've forgotten about that one. It is against me for the moment, but we'll see if this one wants to catch a bit of a bid. Keeping a look here at WFF, the current theoretical auction price, basically the same as we saw it last time, 64s. Still showing the same thing. Halt level, guys, 63. Quickly back to Pony. We don't get the fill at 77, so a little disappointing there, but keeping my eye on those higher lows and higher highs, because that's what the curling effect is, right? That's what the curling pattern is. EYN, I don't know, man. It's hanging out above the volume weighted average price, at least for the moment, but that's the good side. The bad side is it's been, uninterrupted lower highs, with that 1075 candle being the high of the day, the subsequent candle, and every subsequent candle has a lower high. So whether or not it's at VWAP or defending VWAP for the moment is of very little interest to me if it's not putting any higher highs. Quickly back to BBAI over here. I'm seeing this catching a bid without me. Oh, you suck, BBAI. So it didn't even come close to my entry. It came into 88s. I'm waiting at 82. So it seems like it's finding a bid here right back above the 10 EMA it goes. So it looks like the money fills here on BBAI are going to be between the 10 and the 20. And how many times have we been saying that lately, man? The money fills seem to be between the two moving average. WFF is open. Here we go. Up it goes again. This thing is up 150%. $16 high day, $15.96. That looks like it's going to get taken out right now. Right back into that area high we go. So WFF on the warpath to the high side right now. Trade this carefully, for goodness sake. These ones are around for a good time, Joseph, but not necessarily. You know what I'm going to say.
Ooh, long time. One thing that is just absolutely outpacing all of my long-term holdings. That's going to be my guy Robinhood. This thing put in a high of the day of around $82. I've been holding IBIT significantly longer than I've been holding Robinhood, and it's already outpaced from a percentage standpoint what IBIT has put in a span of about almost a year and a half, close to 2 years. But yeah, really good look here in Robinhood. Let's zoom out and see what we got going on from a daily. Yeah, there we go. Just putting in a new all-time high right there, around 81 bucks. So bang, bang, bang. Yeah, we really like Robinhood. This thing has been an absolute monster and a beast for us. So yeah, we're up close to 100% on this name in the span of, when did I buy this? In April-ish, I think, roughly. March, April. So yeah, just an absolute monster name here in Robinhood. So we like this name. Let's go with PLTR, see what we got going on. So you can see that it's established an all-time high as well too. As soon as we broke through that 125 level, boom, we're off to the races. And there you go, 141 and change now with an all-time high of around 144 there. So a really good look on both Palantir and Robinhood. Now let's talk about the laggards here.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Let's see what we got going on with Google. And I mean, we talk about the market being only about a couple percentage points off the all-time high, 1.5%, whatever it may be. If these names start to play catch-up, and I'm talking about Google and Apple, then this market is most definitely going to continue towards those all-time highs and then exceed that. Starting to see these big names start to participate, especially Google. Apple's living in its own world right now. There's a lot of struggles going on with this name, but I think this is going to be short-lived, right? I think it's kind of the cyclical effect that we see. It's like, okay, yeah, they're not doing so good right now, but then sure enough, in a span of a couple months, something can come out with Apple, and it's like, oh, okay, it's just going to send investors crazy, and they're going to start grabbing this thing hand over fist at $200, and then sure enough, you're going to start to see it continue to climb. But I think we're still down around 25% roughly or so off of those all-time highs. Yeah, 22%. So yeah, really tough look there on Apple. But these two big names lagging, they start to play the catch-up game. Watch out for this market here, guys.
I don't know, bro. Obviously I want Apple to go up. You know that. It should go without saying. But again, bro, I hate to sound like a broken record, but this is a major problem for them if they can't decouple from China, and if you have the same type of policy that Donald Trump is going to employ, where he's going to pound the table on building domestically, or divesting completely from China.
Yeah. They're in trouble.
They can't do it, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
They can't do it in the short term anyway.
So do you think that maybe an accusation from Apple, even though that's not going to have anything to do with production, but it could amp up their AI game, like we've seen when talks with Perplexity, etc. Do you think that could, right? You know what I mean? Because I was saying this to you yesterday as well too. I think the ball is in the developers' court right now. They get to choose who they want to work with. We've seen it with the likes of Meta and Apple with Perplexity.
Right.
I think that can be a game changer.
I think, again, that everything you're saying is absolutely right. But you're coming at it from the AI side of the story, right?
Absolutely.
Which is a problem. Let's not pretend like it's not a problem. They're late to the game. They're last of the 7. Right?
But
again,
no question
Joseph, that does not affect anything to do with China.
Yeah.
That is one problem. I think this is a completely different one. I don't know.
That's what I'm
feel
referring
good
to.
about it, bro.
Do you? And I get that.
Yeah.
And we were saying, okay, if it's a 25% tariff, you consumer $1,000 refund to $1,200 now. Big whoop, right?
Okay.
But do you think that this AI, like a big AI acquisition, can move the needle in a positive direction?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I still don't think that the matter's closed.
It's not the final answer.
Yeah, 100%. You're telling me they come in with an amazing AI that changes the hot garbage that Siri is at the moment. It doesn't move the needle. Of course it moves the needle, bro. I mean, they probably get a bit of a super cycle off that. Maybe. I don't even know.
I think so, personally.
Yeah.
Right?
And if they do fantastic, I'd be celebrating up a storm. But the fact of the matter is, if Donald keeps insisting that they do it this way, he's going to make them pay. Because he's warned them. It's not like this came out of left field. You know what I mean? Like, he's warned them. If they don't start moving the needle, and even if they start divesting and start building to have that production sent to India or wherever, and it's not made in Apple, are they going to be able to do it fast enough?
Fair enough.
Right? And does he like what they do?
Well,
at the end of the day, they got to please him.
What does it say? It's about like 3 or 4 years it's going to take for them to move about 40,
It was 5 to 10 years.
For them to move iPhone production into India, 50%.
Not just that, because they're assembling it in India, but all the actual components, brother, they're coming from China. It's just an untenable situation. We're doing it freaking live over here, man, on my friend SPONY. I was about to say SONY. Sony, no, that's not 1995, I promise. All right, PONY, we're long to the third of $1. Now we're knocking the door 13. Go, pony, go, you piece of crap. We were red on you, now we're going back green, baby. I do like what I saw at VWAP. I mentioned this. It was a curling effect. It seemed to have found some sort of support at VWAP. It started giving me those higher highs and higher lows in that curling shape. It's exactly what we got here, and we got a nice big explosion to the high side. Alas, we're still below 13. Taken several prints, with the best being there near that $13 level at 97s, or excuse me, 95s. Now I'm setting up at 99s, and then we're going to go ahead and set up, I don't know, like 13, 15. We'll look for something in and around there to test the high today, which is currently 13.24. So I'm keeping my eye out on that. And I'm all... Is that you, Ram Ram? That was you, Ram Ram. Eh? Okay. I don't know if it's the Chile Nightmare or Ram Ram. They both have access to the live trading by Trader TV live account, so never really sure. Quickly, back to WFF, guys. It's around for a good time. It's around for a good time. But sometimes those good times are short-lived, and for the moment, it seems like it is that way with WFF. 1684 high. We are now halted down at 1389. The halt happened at 11:53:35. So you add 5 minutes on top of that. That'll be the first open time, 11:58:35. Mark your set your clocks there if you're going to be trading this one. So WFF up 113.33%, but halted to the downside. Quickly here, let's check on Big Bear AI. Very displeased. I didn't get that ad on the breach of the 10 EMA on the 5, but up we go again to test $5. Keeping an eye on Big Bear AI. What do you got, Adara?
Some of these health names, Sharif, like Dexcom and ABT. Political reporting that Robert Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr., who's the leader of the Health and Human Services Department, the secretary there, Political reporting that he's going to be launching one of the biggest campaigns in the history of HHS to encourage Americans to use wearable health devices, with his vision that every American will end up having one in 4 years. So keep an eye on names like DXM, or DXCM, sorry, Dexcom popping to the upside, as well as Abbott Labs, ABT. Again, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reportedly launching a massive campaign for wearable health devices, according to Politico. Back to you.
I think that's gonna boom. We already seen that Aura ring. You seen that? Obviously, the Apple Watch goes without saying, or all the smart watches. Neil, I know you're going to be on in a few minutes, but I want to ask you this question anyway. What's the name of the watch that sorry, not the watch. What's the name of that program that gives you your vitals in the morning that kind of foreshadows ailments? Yeah, is that what it is? Whoop. Okay, so Neil was feeling a little bit under the weather. I think it was last week, and the morning of, before he really had manifested all his sort of symptoms, his watch was already telling him, my man, you're likely going to be sick today. It gave him a score. It gives him a score, and his score was 1% recovery. And needless to say, later that day, he ended up going home because he was feeling under the weather. So these things are just getting better and better.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
I had an experience like that of mine as well. It wasn't the same as his, but I had been kind of just excessively training. And then I woke up one morning and it's like, hey man, something's off with your overnight vitals. Take it easy today.
Oh, yeah.
Being the psycho that I am, I'm like, dude, clean and press, bro. Let's get the clean.
Sweat it out. That's what I call it. Sweat it out.
More like your back gave way.
Oh.
Shot my back for 2-3 days.
No.
Brendo, same business. It gives him a score in the morning, and depending on the score, he can gym, and it's almost always accurate.
Wow.
Do you guys have that? Like, has anybody experienced what we're talking about here? Because it seems to me like this is the real deal. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what your experience with these things has been, guys. He's here. Big smile. I just loaded up some 606 puts. Looking for this pre-market high area to reject. Shout out to Big Smile. Okay. He's obviously talking about SPY puts, guys, in case you're wondering what one is talking about. We're at 605.76 right now, so he's basically taking a high of day short. Shout out to Big Smile. Keep your eye out on that. DJ Reski, what watch are you using? I use the very, very crappy Apple Watch 6. I don't like it. I feel it's always miscalculating my calories burnt and never catches my heart rate in time. So it's like when my heart rate's super elevated, it says it's low. So the calories and everything, all the consumption stuff, there's just absolute nonsense there. Ram says also the Aura ring and the Ultra Human ring. I didn't even know about this Ultra Human thing, Ram. Are you making that up? It's for real, she says. I know about the Aura. I didn't know about Ultra Human. It's like Aura, but it has no subscription, so you don't have to pay that pesky SaaS model. Thank you for that, Ram. What else we got there, man? 169. Have you tried not checking it till after you go to the gym to check if it's just a placebo? But like the only time that it actually gave me that indication, it ended up being right. It had never given me that indication before where it says, hey, something was off with your overnight vitals, stay away from training. That was one time and one time only, and it ended up being right. So, I don't have a big sample size off which to work. Susie Fox, my watch stopped. Is that bad? I don't know, Susie. Depends on what you want it to do.
Yeah,
right?
Depends.
Shout out to my man, Big Smile. My wife got me a ring to wear. I have to read this first.
Yeah. We know where this one's headed.
Yeah, this is okay. It's PG.
Oh, okay.
My wife got me a ring to wear, but it is really hard to get that Frank and Beans both through the
Yeah. I said, you know what I mean? We don't want to read that one there, but hey, we gotta.
It's never clean, bro. He's such a liability.
Zero chance.
It's over.
As soon as I heard my wife got me a ring, I'm like, I'm just thinking in my head, don't read it.
He's so good, bro. He's so good. He's always got a good sense of humor.
He got us with that one, when we were talking about game, and he got us really good on that one.
He gets us all the time. He gets me all the time. Yeah, he doesn't really get anybody else.
Too. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I've never had that one before, but yeah.
All right, guys, we're having a great time.
Wild.
All right, Joseph, I'm just going to tell everybody that WFF is down again. Here we go. It is losing the 10 EMA, and it is on its way to halt here. It looks like it will be an 11.95 halt on WFF. That will be the second down halt in a row. Couple more seconds here, and then we should get gray out on the level 2, and there it is. WFF halted down again. Big sell on this one after making, that big boy high into 1684. This one doesn't have a lot left for me here because if it loses VWAP, it's really, I'm going to take it off the side chart. The only positions we have on right now are Big Bear AI and Pony. Doing well in all of them. We basically have nothing left on Big Bear AI, so I am looking at DCAing, and I have had that order there for a hot minute. I think I'm going to move up that order soon, though, and we'll keep an eye out on that. JG, too innocent, bro. Yeah, I know, man. I'm naive as hell, but that's kind of part of my charm. Kelvin GTS, $5 super chat. Thank you, my man.
Oh, my God.
Can you boys look at Circle? A few of huge green candles and one red, and red one right after. Where should we look for the break of the trend to the up or downside? Before we go to happening now, you want to have a look at Circle?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at it for my guy, Kelvin. Kelvin's. However you pronounce it. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Let's take a look at Circle. And you're looking for the crack of the downtrend here, okay? Or forward to the move. See, that's the thing, right? I don't know what you're specifically looking for, but here's a couple good signals here that if you are looking for the short, can you look at the candles on the right side after we should? For the break of the trend to the up or downside. Yeah. All right. So there you go. You got indecision inverted right here, and then now you're somewhat forming an inside day, right? So if you're looking for that move to the downside, just be prepared, right? So you could do another liquidity grab post of this, but then just look for any form of indecision right there. But let's zoom in and see what we got going on a 15-minute. And then you just want to ask yourself when something's been traded. Oh, actually, no. Let's go. That's for 5 minutes. Let's go a 30-minute here for you. And then this is what you want to look for, right? So just draw as many touches as you can possibly have, and that's going to give you a nice conviction within the trend. So that's not necessarily the best one. It's tough because this stock is up a significant amount off of that IPO. But as soon as this trend right there, which it does seem to be breached, and you can see we have multiple touches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from that standpoint. And then now we're on the back side of it. Wait for a retest of this trend. Right? And then look for the rejection of that. That's what I got for you on Circle. So just be prepared that it might squeeze through. As soon as you sit on the backside of this trend in the opposite direction of your trade, then just get out of it and then look to reassess the situation and then wait for that entry. That's the thing about trading, right? You're not going to always be as accurate. It's tough to time the market, but you just want to give yourself multiple attempts, right? Like 2, 3 attempts. If you're going like 4 or 5 attempts, then the thesis is essentially probably invalid. You need to collect enough data to see where your accuracy drastically starts to fall off after what attempt. Okay, attempt 1 usually doesn't work out, attempt 2 doesn't work out, but that third attempt, great, right? So within that range, just keep that in mind. You hold this trend line, then maybe you can look for a move back towards some of the lower ends of these ranges, Sheree.
All right, guys.
Oh yeah, we're heading off to Adara and then Neil's lesson of the day.
Oh, my bad.
Jerome Powell here is still being grilled by these congressmen. Right now, he's being asked to pick only one economic event that he thinks is the biggest of his lifetime. The congressman did not like when he picked 2. So just normal antics here with Jerome Powell, who did say that unlike comments we had from Waller and Bowman, he's not necessarily for that July cut. Now, he didn't out and out rebuke the comments, but he said that for himself, he'd like to wait till later in the year, potentially for these rate cuts. Here's the IWM. We'll pull up the S&P 500 there, looking much stronger than IWM, which it did look potentially like a higher low, for lack of a better term. But S&P 500 still near day's highs. Let's see if we get that breakout back above 600. Nasdaq looking slightly less strong than the S&P 500 from a chart standpoint. We're a little bit farther from that day high, but we're still near that 540 level, about $1 away. Let's see what happens here for this Nasdaq. In terms of intraday catalysts, we have AMBA. Ambarella spiking higher after Bloomberg reported that the company is exploring some strategic options, including a potential sale. Then we have DXCM, Dexcom, and Abbott Labs just popped here We did have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reportedly launching or preparing to launch a massive wearable device campaign for health purposes. So some of these healthcare names looking really good here. DXCM, great push, about $5 push here for Dexcom. But make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for Neil and his lesson of the day. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Adair. Your lesson of the day brought to you by a Key and Peele skit, Front Hand Backhand. Front Hand Backhand is a great game. That being said, you're pretty much always going to lose. Anyone that hasn't seen the skit, it's a funny one, but it's loosely based on that. No, it just comes down to something I've said many times. There's the front end and there's the back end of the trade. In front hand backhand, you lose either way. In this particular case, it's about setting yourself up for the better probability to win. And if you like trading mean reversion or support and resistance, you will find yourself, when engaging in those two types of strategies, buying stocks on the way down, because as it goes to a support level, you're buying it. You're shorting tops. If you're playing a mean reversion trade or a trend break, it's trending in one direction, you're looking for the reversal in another. That does mean that in some time frame, you're going against the grain and you're against the market. Just because that's true, it doesn't mean that you have to stand in front of a falling knife or catch a falling knife or just stand in front of a moving freight train. When you get into it or how you time it is so important. And I'm going to give you some examples here. One with AMD, so with Tesla as well. I mean, Tesla ended up not really having a back end of the trade, but at least, and I'll show you here, like ultimately, I'm not displeased with my attempt on Tesla. That said, there was no green candle, but playing it back into 350, I did let it make a bounce and try and close back over. However, there still wasn't much of a green candle. So it's like a B or a C trade, but it's the idea that I'm not getting in on the down candle. I'm getting after it closes, holding a low, back in through 350. Like it actually closed this one after wicking through 350. It closed it at above 350 and then opened again above. So it looked like it was trying to make a bit of a bounce. It doesn't work, but at least I'm not getting it on the way down. And when it doesn't set up again, you don't have to take it again. That's an idea where, okay, you can take your shot at it. I would argue that's not even that great of a back-end trade because there was not enough strength on that 3-minute. But with advanced micro devices, here's an example a couple of times. No, at 9:30, it's a different story because you get a lot of crazy wick prices. You've seen this in the morning show a million times, where if your level is 133, like it was for me, it just bounces right off the 133 instantly. And the next thing you know, I'm taking a dip back into 134 for like that could make your entire day because you're getting a couple of trades into 34.5 and 35. Like you're talking clean $2, you're talking clean 50 cents, and then $1 after that. But it's what happened after that I wasn't happy with. Now here's where the difference between front end and back end is. Sniffed it out that there was a seller at 135 I wanted to play out and get back into the trade. So while that was true and we're able to get our scalp out of our 33s and 34s, on the way back down through VWAP, I sit on the bid in front of VWAP with a stop underneath. But that's the front of the trade. The back end of the trade is after it shows me the close back above the volume weighted average price on that 3-minute to enter on either of the other two candles, giving it to that low. So if you allow it to show you the support first, it's only 3 minutes. You wait for the next 3-minute candle. You could be long here. You could be long here. It's a bit wider of a stop, but and that's part of the game. It's a bit wider of a stop. It's not quite as good a price as if you catch a falling knife, but you got to be willing to miss the trade and make the trade. And sometimes having a bit worse of a price to have more conviction is a reasonable trade-off. And you will have more conviction in trades when it's already showed you the bounce off the level that you want. It's shown you the buyers, you're joining the buyers. So giving up 15, 20 cents on AMD to like the trade more isn't the end of the world. The other way to play it, and I think I did it better the second time, is just be willing to get in, get out if you're an active trader. I waited for the back end here on VWAP. It started to go, but then it lost support, but then it held again. It held VWAP, so I just jumped right back in the trade. Same thing, I'm looking for the bounce off VWAP, but I'm only entering I want to be entering on the other side. And each time that it held that prior bar low, I'm jumping back in a trade. Jump in here on a 3, I mean, on a 1 minute, you'd see it cleaner. And then add here as it breaks higher, scalp it into 137. Each time, with the exception here, I'm allowing it to show me that bottoming tail candle, that indication that, hey, the buyers or the sellers have exhausted a bit and the buyers are starting to come back in to get that trade. And if it doesn't happen, you don't have to take the trade. So you just don't take the trade. And ultimately, oftentimes, we're all trying to catch that low. I'll give you an example that I didn't trade today to just round things off. Like if you look at something like everyone's probably waiting for Circle to do its thing at some point. But I would argue there hasn't been, like you could catch a falling knife and just guess that it's going to hold at 245. Fair enough. I mean, it did so multiple times in here. But if you're looking to actual trades in Circle, like you can see where it bounces off the low. This is where it holds. There's a shot at a long. Like instead of just like randomly taking prices, there's an actual hold. There's a couple of bars higher. Try to get in tight there. Risk a couple of bucks. It goes $5. That's a good risk to reward. It doesn't really set that up all that cleanly until we get back in. I mean, it doesn't even set it up cleanly again, I would argue. Like, you could now play support off 245. But there was one shot in here where you've got clean higher lows after a deep pullback and then a nice tight entry at 246. And maybe that's your one trade, $5 on Circle, and then you just wait for something else. There's nothing wrong with that. Sitting around waiting for the perfect setup and then striking because it actually happens. Just because you want the stock to bounce doesn't mean, at a certain level, doesn't mean you just sit on the bid out in front of it and hope and pray. The second I hear traders say things like, oh, I hope it bounces from here, I'm praying this is going to happen, oh, I believe this is going to happen, let's go. No, that's wrong. I am seeing something that confirms what I want to do in the trade, therefore I'm executing. That's what you want to do when you're trading. And playing mean reversions of support and resistance, sometimes it requires you being a little bit patient. I get it. Oftentimes I will just sit there on the bid in front of a level and get run over. It's not like you'll never do it, but if you can reduce the number of times that you do that by getting in on the back end of the trade, whenever it presents itself, all you're going to end up doing is increase your winning percentage, which ultimately is what it's all about. Just trying to be a little bit better every single day. That's your lesson of the day. Good luck, everybody. Go Bitcoin.
I like the ending of that last part. Want to be better, a little bit better every single day.
A little bit better, 0.5%, 1% every day.
That's it, man. It's a compounding effect. It's like saving up with a compounding bank account.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Pony, still holding the piece here, but I'm starting to think that $13 is a level that we may not shake, at least not on this attempt. We've already shaken it earlier on with that 13.24 high, but it's now a 3-candle setup each with lower highs that's been rejecting generally that $13 area. I don't have too many outs left on my friend Pony over here, so let's see if this one wants to clear 13, get a nice big move up. I'm waiting at 15s, otherwise we're gonna cut the trade. And yeah, that's kind of how I view Pony at the moment. Now, BBAI is a little bit of a different trade here. I feel there could be a flat top break in effect on BBAI through 5. We have bottoming tail candles, all hammer candles. Each and every one of them found support at the 20 exponential moving average on the 5, and each one of those bottoming tail candles has a higher low. So you feel like this one may be setting up for a big boy break through that $5 area. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I was quite insistent, and I still am, to look to get that dollar cost average in. I've left that order active. It hasn't even come close to VWAP, so we'll keep tabs on that. And WFF is just losing everything. It's a Christmas tree retracement all the way up to 1684, and it's halted down now. $8.72. It's lost and then some. So be careful with this one. It was up well over 150%, is now down to about 40%. Sorry, 34%, halted down again. Oh, Nimrod. He explained to me how to say it yesterday. My man, dropping 69.9 shekels. That's what I want to see. EYN. Forgot to close the position yesterday, but it jumped now and seems to respect VWAP. EYEN. Wonder if it's still tradable or get out. I Hope some in the chat took my MNDY prediction. Still a long way up. Shout out to my man, Nimrod. In the chat, EYN is one that we were involved with earlier, Nimrod. We were on the way up into that high day. I think I'm very close to the top there. I got 65s on, the high 75, so quite close. But my man, this one feels, yes, you're absolutely right. It's straddling VWAP, but it is putting in lower highs, not necessarily putting in lower lows. So what do we call that? Now, you never know whether this is going to actually manifest into that flat bottom breaker or not, Nimrod, but have a look. Oh, excuse me. This is what concerns me about this chart, is that we keep putting in these lower highs, like barely lower highs, but they're lower highs nonetheless. And we keep holding that same general area of 860 to 850. I don't know how this one ends up doing. I don't like these patterns where it has that big kind of move up, then the move down, and then it straddles it sideways like this with lower highs. I don't know. You're clearly holding it from somewhere around 550. If you held it from yesterday, if you got to close your position, the worst price you can have, Nimrod, is $6.60, something like that. So you're well in the money on this. I don't know, brother. I'm not going to give you financial advice, but if I'm intraday trading EYEN, I'm out because it's breaking down below VWAP, and it's also setting up lower highs and all that good stuff that we know all too well. One more here, Joseph, before we send it back to you. RZ or RZ for my American, LV, putting in some higher highs and higher lows. A break above that 275 area could push this into the high day at around 286. It's not up by a lot, 31 2/3. My man's dancing over there. Okay, I want to hear what you're pumped about.
I mean, I'm not pumped about anything, to be honest with you.
My bad.
I'm just, you got to dance a little bit.
Yay, why not?
Feel the groove. It's summertime.
Sure.
I'm a totally different human being during the summer. Like I told you, I'm outside people, so for me, it's just like read book outside, bring the laptop outside and everything. And I'm like sitting on the balcony last night, and someone was like, "Why don't you come inside?" I'm like, "You don't get it. We're outside. We're inside."
Hold on. How did she? What was that voice she did again?
What did I do?
Yeah, just,
How come you're not inside?
No. What was the time again?
Yeah, how come you're not sitting inside? I'm like, no, we got to be outside, like at all times. This is Canada. We got 7 months of just brutal weather. I'm gonna enjoy being outside when we can. Yes, traders, level up your trading game with Prop XP, up to 1 to 200 leverage. Scroll the site, pick your challenge at propxp.com. Trade directly on our platform, sign up, try it for free, and start your trading journey now. Enjoy rapid payouts and real human support, no bots, guys. Rated 4.6 stars on Trustpilot, trusted by traders worldwide. Right now, get 50% off with code TraderTV, links in the description. Get funded, join the Prop XP today. Prop XP, your edge starts here. Visit propxp.com. There it is, guys. Go check out propxp.com. So yeah, what I was getting at, I'm just outside people, right? Like during the summertime, I love being, yes, Zed is dead. I love that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love that. Bruce Willis said that, didn't he? In, what movie did he say that in?
I don't know.
Oh, really? Hey, I think maybe Neil would know that one. I'm sure the chat's going to figure that one out.
Oh, yeah, they'll know.
But anyways, back to these markets here, guys. Let's see what we got going on from a top-performing sector standpoint. We got the tech leading the way, and I think that had a lot to do with that gap up we experienced earlier in the day. So we're up about 1.6%, or 1 2/3 there. Financial sector sitting in that second place. So in that show, up about 1 1/3, and then the comms up about 1 and I guess 1.5 there. So not too bad. Tech leading the way, and some financial sector. Now let's go from the third last to last here. Real estate still holding on to that green, up 1/3%. Then we got the consumer staples down about 1/10, and then we have the energy for its second day in a row, Sharif, leading the bottom of the pack there, down about 1.14%. But yeah, what movie is that from?
People are saying Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
Okay.
I think so, yeah. I think Bruce Willis might say it in there or something along those lines. But
that's fine.
Yeah, but shout out to Zed's Dead, I guess the EDM band too, or whatever.
Anytime I see oil down 5, almost 6% now, it puts a smile on my face, man. I've got nothing invested in oil. I won't have anything invested in oil, and I hate paying prohibitively high prices for gas, man.
You tossed a 91 in there, though.
Yeah, you're talking like 91 is low, bro.
It is low.
There's 89 and 87 all below. Until like a few years ago, 91 was the top you could get unless you went to Sunoco, right? Sunoco's the one that had 94, right?
That's fair.
All right, Katina Man. He's returned. I got other things I want to talk about. Have you looked at your friend, the Baird one? He's long. Katina Man, did you see the high of the day today? 503, my man. It took 5 out. Big. What's that? The Katina Man's coming in.
We're long. So we just punched long right here, breaking through $5. But realistically, Amazon nicely trading to the upside to come back to this kind of a winner as well. AMD still $3 in the money off the reload down there. And that's about it, right? So we're just trying to empty out some of the clips right here. I like Big Bear AI, Sharif, but the thing is like, I don't know, up 20%. Can it keep going? We're gonna wait and see if we can get out around here a break of 90, but I don't know. Look, it's a good day. I'm happy. But the problem is
what?
So we got our lunch, which is chef's choice salad here, which is just nothing, garden salad with a little bit of some, okay, there we go, some orzo.
What's the problem with it?
There's no salad dressing.
Ooh.
It's just straight rabbit lettuce.
Yeah, there you go.
There's the fail. Straight rabbit lettuce.
Rabbit.
I know.
Rabbit. Yeah.
I don't think it
Get
can
it,
have
rabbits.
Yeah.
I hope everyone's having a good time.
How's the weather? Is it still 500% humidity?
It's a lot. It's warm over there. But I did see our good friend from ICE, Mark O'Keefe, brought.
That's why there's a ton of cookies and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Hey, if you're not doing anything after, man, you can go out for drinks with that dude if you want. Yeah, lots of stuff popping around here.
You get a sparkling water.
I appreciate that, Katina Man.
Good luck with everything.
Shout out to the Katina Man. All right, guys, so we're holding a piece for the dream here on the Big Baird one. We're long at 90s, just printed there at 03s. Let's leave some here. We just got to the high day. We're 1 penny off the high day on Big Bear, so I'm going to keep my eye out there. All right, so that's the look. What else we got? Where's my pony at? Show yourself, pony. There we go. Right back into 13. So it looks like we could be cup and handling here. Joseph Wilson, I want to get your opinion on this. Now, we know the cup and handle pattern is a reversal pattern. So usually you're coming from a downtrend. You're not usually pulling in off VWAP, but this is exactly what it looks like. You get that drop into VWAP, the curl back up, and now we're getting the handle pattern right here. Or I could be seeing what I want to see, and what this really is
a lower high.
Is a lower high.
Well, I think just wait. If we open up that candle, so if a 5-minute candle opens up on the backside of that downtrend, maybe you do get that breach.
That's a good point. And that's a good point. Yeah. So I'm going to keep. I'm going to pack my patience here on Pony, looking for something at around 13.15, in and around that level. Packer of patience on that one. But EYN, look. It's not giving up VWAP, but it's also still not putting any higher highs in. So I will not be punching in at any time soon on EYN until and if it can start showing me that it's changing its trend, which is basically a plethora of lower highs. So this one of no interest to me at the moment. Traded it successfully to start, but right now I do not perceive this one as setting up the right way. Look at MFI. This is a big boy move off MFI at 583 area low, and boom, it goes into 650. Joseph, MFI has been a former convict here, if I can use that term, and this is what it's been doing since the end of May. So we're going to do that in 1 second, but since the end of May, this thing is up 700%. It is not one of those ones that's giving it up the next day. Have a look at that trend, higher highs and higher lows, Joseph, and now we're 24 days deep into the month.
Damn. Yeah,
Can you believe that?
Things just fly by, man. Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
We're already like, it's scary, right? Because I think we only have about 60 solid days of summer, if we're lucky. So yeah, a third of that gone almost there, Sharif. All right, guys, let's see what we got. Yes, solid. That's it, man. Prime time heat. Okay. Yeah, I know. 21st is summer. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Heat, summer and heat. I don't.
You were not looking for like
anyway, yeah, I'm going to get myself into trouble here. Anyway, all right, guys, we got behind the scenes look at Trade the Pool. The dashboard tracks your progress in real time, live stats, profit, and more. You can break down every trade, see your entry, exit, and how it played out on the chart, guys. Check the certificates page for your full summary, achievements, and payouts. in this clip, that's Michael T. He's already earned over $75K in total profits. Trade the Pool gives you the tools and the capital to go further. Ready to level up? Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code. Check the link in the description.
Check it.
Check it, guys. Very something interesting from your boy Big Spile.
Oh.
Joseph, the guys on the Big Sharif, Chef Sharif, something page want to know if he is waxing his body or using Nair. Well, no, the upper here. What do you do? Do you shave here? I shave.
No.
You don't shave your chest?
No.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like once a month, though. I don't shave my arms. I don't shave my back. I don't need to shave my back, thankfully.
Thankfully.
Yeah. But we're good to go over here.
Yeah. I shave the old chest.
Yeah.
The guys used to give me a hard time.
I don't really care what anybody thinks. As long as I like it.
But then you can see the definition a little more, you know what I mean?
100% you can.
And then you get the tan as well, too.
Are you kidding me, man?
All right, on to the next thing.
Why are you so squeamish about this, bro? This is fine.
Yeah,
you got a little embarrassed there. You got a little glow going on.
What do you mean, man? I shave, man. We're good. We shave. I'm not embarrassed to say that I shave.
All right. Don't worry about it. Big Spile, you're not going to make us feel bad, bro. We're going to continue to do us.
I mean, we're team tarps off, so I mean, we're not that ashamed. See, the thing is, though, they used to call me the nature boy back in high school because during summertime, I would literally, it's just like shorts. I would go to, what do you say now?
I can't, man, with this guy, bro. Looking like a hairless Egyptian cat from the neck down.
Is funny.
Why, bro? Why? Ram. See how he's bullying me?
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my God, this guy, bro. All right, we're
side by side.
What do you say?
The Katina man wants me to do a side-by-side picture with the cat, just so we can ensure that I don't look like the cat.
Production team, you got to make it now.
I'm not a cat guy, by the way. I'm a dog guy, by far. All right, guys.
You got to.
1 second, Adara. We just got to take care of some business over here. All right, guys, we're ready to go. All right, Origenics. I'm going to tell you about this one in 1/2 second. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the United States, yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Origenics under ticker OGEN is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access, with the concussion treatment market projected to reach about $8.9 billion by 2027. Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. So if you're interested in learning more, schedule a meeting today. Check out Origenics, guys. Shout out to them. Great look there. And nothing bad I can say about the what they're looking at doing, obviously, because we know how concussions are no good. All right, guys, we're done our trade here on PONY. I'm very happy with how I was able to trade this. I was initially negative on it, and now we are back positive. Got in at the volume weighted average price, and now it just took out 13 1/5 with a 13 1/4 high. Keep your eye out here for PONY. It seems to be directional. Adara LePage, what is happening up there?
I'll tell you, it has to do with MNMD, that is MindMed. New York Post reporting here, citing a study that apparently, I guess some researchers have found that one single dose of psilocybin could relieve depression for 5 years. MNMD pushed you to the upside. Again, I'm not here to comment on the veracity of said study, but the story came out, the stock pumped, MNMD up after the New York Times reported that a study has found that one dose of psilocybin can relieve depression for half a decade. Back to you.
Okay, so full disclosure, everybody knows I'm invested in this company. We've got like around $5, so I'm not going to have anything to say on it that can't be biased. Do you have anything to say about MNMD?
I honestly can't say too much, Sharif. I've never really experimented with that type of
Neither have I, man.
Yeah.
Neither have I.
For me, honestly, I had friends that do it, more for the recreational standpoint, and I'm just more of a standby, like a passenger to see what's going on with
What
that.
I don't understand is that there is a place, I'm not going to mention where, Avenue in Lawrence, that sells this in the daylight. They got a shop. There's one right here?
Yeah.
The Katina man
right on Yonge Street there.
And a shrooms place, psilocybin?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And the cops are not shutting this place down, man. And Adara says there's a lot of places.
It's like
Fun Guys. There's a chain in Toronto called Fun Guys. And there's a little mushroom on you know, on the little logo. And
The
that's all I
question
have.
is, though, Adara,
Yes.
have you entered their establishment?
I have never decided to join the fun guys, but they're growing like mold all over the city.
They are,
There's so
man.
many of these locations. If you get the pun, shout out.
Yeah.
The
They are.
OG Darwin
There
making
you
me
go.
talk in the chat, bro.
Yeah, no, that was nothing I ever really got into, to
No,
be honest
neither
with you.
have I, man.
Yeah.
But like I don't look down upon it, especially if you're looking to use it as a substitute for chemical drugs, for things like we've talked about this before, you and I, depression, anxiety,
Yeah.
things that afflict society big time. I mean, I'm not averse to it whatsoever, especially if there's genuine medical application for it.
Yeah.
And why not substitute off chemicals? What's so special about the drug companies? You know what I mean? Like, why do they have the
Just
complete
we'd
monopoly
rather
on
just
this whole thing, right?
Grow it in the ground there, I guess. But no, to your point, Sharif, I'll mention it one more time. Yeah, I never really got into that realm of experimenting.
The Chilean Nightmares, would you like me to talk about that or no? Well, look, the Chilean Nightmare, he's used it before. He likes it a lot more than drinking. It doesn't, say that again. What were you saying before? No hangover, according to Fabian. Basically, you know, it's a lot different than alcohol, according to him. I personally haven't tried it, but yeah, I have no judgment whatsoever on that kind of stuff. And look, you never really want to make any of these assumptions, but the fact that the cops are not, you know, going, you know, right gung-ho, trying to shut these bad boys down, kind of gives you the feeling that the trend is going in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The last thing I want, though, is and I shouldn't say this. I understand the recreational use, but we've seen it in the likes of the cannabis stores when they first came into the city. You pop up, pop down. But I don't think you want to be doing this stuff every day. To me, I don't know. I've never personally got into that realm, but I don't think abusing one of any substance, whether it's good for you,
It's not good at all.
good or bad, is
In general,
good.
bad. Yeah.
But this is what I was referring to, guys. All right, back to alcohol does make you feel like a complete garbage. But
I
a cold
can't
one after
tell
a
you how
hockey
much
game-
I hate alcohol.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
God.
don't like it. But even so, like, say you come and say you're playing soccer back in the day, even a cold one after a nice match.
No. I just will not drink anymore. Period. End of the story.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like if you know, New Year's, like I told you, we had that little because I had that bottle going on 5 years now.
Yeah.
You know, we had a little bit of it, and that was it. That was literally the
That's
last
fair.
time I had alcohol at all.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that for me personally, like a good hockey game, you're playing with the boys, it's nice and
Like
warm
that,
out, right? Nice a cold one after with the team is definitely the way we go. I guess a cultural thing too as well. But yeah, for me, I'm not sitting at home drinking a 6-pack or anything along those lines. So yeah, guys, I wanted to talk about NVDA here. Sharif and I were mentioning this earlier. I said, hey, look at this pattern. It looks like you can really start to get going. Now we're sitting on the backside of these lower highs. Let's see if this retests and you see this sustained, and we can continue on this trajectory here, because I think this is a pretty good look that we're experiencing on NVDA. There's also something else that I wanted to talk about, and that is what happened. Okay, so last week we've seen that every time that we breached that 145 call wall, the following session rejected. So when we breached it, I think it was yesterday, I think we might have got north of that. Yeah, so in the post market, we did get a little bit north of that, but now we're holding it. So that's extremely important to note there, guys. And I think that's a really big bullish sign here in NVDA. We're gonna pull up the options chain one more time to see what we got going on with NVDA and just how the concentration of open interest and current open contracts has now been lifted a couple strike prices. There is some overhead resistance through some key levels. As you can see, it's more of a grind. But what we did see is, go check my X account as well too, guys. I post the open interest on there. And if you go back to a couple posts ago on NVDA, you're going to see that we had a lot of contracts at 145. That has now substantially started to decay. That is really important. And those strikes have now been lifted to 147 and 155 opposed to 145 and 150. This is a bullish signal here for me on NVDA. I think if you have the ability to buy some dips, and what the options market is currently telling me is that we might even go test all-time highs by the end of the week. Let's see if we get any catalyst. There's going to be no coincidence if we do break through some of these key levels, especially with this open interest at 155 there, Sharif. We might get that Megan effect. Adara, what do you got for us?
Comments coming from Fed's Powell, who is still speaking here at this, I guess, event here. He's testifying for Congress. He said, he made some comments here about what factors might impact when jobs are cut. Basically saying that he and the Fed expect meaningful tariff effects to come in the June, July, and August data. But if they don't see that, that could lead to cutting earlier. So let's see what these June, July, and August data brings, because that is really what Powell is leaning on, or he says the Fed is leaning on, to determine if they'll cut rates earlier than expected. We also have Fed's Williams making some comments saying that there are some signs inflation is affecting certain categories of goods, and that the modestly restrictive policy, as he puts it, does give them some space to examine new data. Back to you.
For that, Adara. So just drawing some trend lines here on IBIT, you can see that this is what we got going on. We now break through this 59.89. I mentioned that we do have about 23,000 open contracts at 60. So again, just holding on to this, I think that we're positioned relatively well. Bitcoin's still up about 2.25% there. We had to hold this 20 cents against us here, but again, positioned relatively well, especially if we get this break of the high of the day, and then maybe we can exceed that and head into those targets. Now I'm gonna hold, if we do get into that area, then maybe we can get an add at the break. But one thing to note, guys, just keep an eye on the volume. It's really, really starting to fall off here, and we needed to step in order to make this push. We had that double top at that 16.16 level to be exact. Now, possibly, if we're heading back into that neck of the woods, it's either going to be a failed high of the day, right? So we'll construct a lower high, or we're going to get enough momentum volume step in order for us to breach that previous high of the day, and then we can establish a new one. Adara, what do you got for us?
For the interruptions, guys, more news, I guess, coming from Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the head of the Department of Health and Human Services. He just announced that they're going to be expanding rural health access through innovations in telemedicine and AI-powered diagnostics. TDOC moving on this. Teladoc with a 13.5% short float. A great day yesterday, as you can see today, getting a little bit of a pop, though it's already given back some of that move, as we do have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announcing that the Department of Health and Human Services is going to be expanding rural health access. Back to you.
This New York mayoral primary that's happening right now?
No.
Okay. Yeah, Adara, weasel in. Have you seen the guy challenging the former governor Cuomo? He wants public grocery stores.
What does that mean?
So everything's free in there?
I just know, honestly, Sharif, I'm more familiar with the uproar around it than I am the specifics. I have yet to do deep dives on the candidates, but I assure you that will occur.
Public grocery store seems like a self-explanatory concept, Katina, man. It's either going to be some derivative of food stamps or income-based qualification. Not that obviously you got to eat, but
I think one of the guys that could buy Big Bear AI.
the Katina Man is like one of the guys endorsed the Big Bear AI. And the reason the Katina Man feels that way is because it's at the high of the dang day. 5:07 it goes, Katina Man.
That might not be true.
At the high of the day?
No, he might not have endorsed Big
Oh,
Bear.
no. Of course. I hope everyone thinks that. Yeah.
He may or may not have said it.
So the former, the other guy that's running against him now, this is the Democratic primary. So I don't think these are the two candidates, the Republican and the Democrat. So they're both Democrats, I think. One guy is the former governor who quit because he had sexual assault or sexual harassment allegations.
Oh, yeah?
He's the governor that was during the pandemic that was doing those every day. I don't know if you remember Andrew Cuomo. He's Chris Cuomo's brother, that anchor on CNN. Remember that guy? He's on Newsmax now.
I don't. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He has that. He had that 9 o'clock show before Don Lemon. The Italian guy.
Yeah.
He does CrossFit.
I don't know about Don, man.
Yeah, anyway, forget about Don for a second, but that's basically this guy. This guy was destroying this other guy that wants to create public grocery stores. And if you look at Kalshi or Polymarket and you look at the odds, up all the way, like literally the beginning of this month, and now it's either even, or I'll pull it up in a second, or the other guy is winning. So it's all chaos. Say that again, Adara? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We're going to Adara.
New York mayoral conversation. This is VRTX. We have more comments. This is now the third headline, and I think less than an hour, related to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the Department of Health and Human Services. This one now is Kennedy saying that he's doing everything he can, or the department's doing everything they can in the department to promote access to a non-opioid pain reliever called Jornavax. So I looked into this, and it's made by VRTX. As you can see, VRTX get a little bit of a spike. So keep an eye on this one. Again, U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying that they're trying to promote one of this company's treatments. Back to you.
You, Adara. It's going to cover
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say,
Others.
did you see that you can now bet on when the Eglinton LRT is going to?
No.
Yeah.
I'm guessing September.
Yeah. You
I'm
can
thinking
now
they
bet
want it
on
probably
when
for
the LRT
school.
Yeah, boy.
They've been building this thing like it feels more like a
Years.
decade. Are we
Yeah,
going on a
close.
decade?
It's been like
Yeah.
5-6 years. I think.
It's got to be more than that, Joseph.
What a
Bro,
waste
like,
of money.
a light rail transit, mostly above ground. Some of it's below ground. It's on an east-west road in Toronto called Eglinton. They've been building this thing for years, and we've been hearing a lot about it for years. All right, guys, Big Bear AI, 510 high, got into the high of the day. We're still holding the piece. We're long 490. Let's keep an eye out on this one. It's a good look right now on the Baird one, 21.25%. Great look for the name. Great uptrend there with a very clear upward channel. With support generally, the wicks seem to be supported at the 20 exponential moving average on the 5, with most prints, guys, closing above the 10 EMA. That's the good news. Let's talk a little bit about EYEN, because there's going to be some upset people. I'm assuming right now. Topping tail probably got a lot of people in, but this is a lower high, 975 rejection, down into 9 1/5 we go. Full disclosure, I was interested in punching in on this one because it looked very similar to Pony, right? Big move up, goes down to VWAP, and then starts doing that rounding effect. Like the reason we got back into Pony was because of that rounding shape off the volume with an average price, but Pony didn't topping tail in this way. So let's keep an eye out on EYEN. If it sets up the right way, man, if it clears at 9 3/4, that'll be another area high, and I'll probably weasel into the trade on that one. It's still up 67%, going on 68 right now, but definitely giving back a little bit here after that nice move up. So EYEN, good look. Last but not least, the trade that I had on earlier on Pony is absolutely done. We took it out there ahead of the possible double top. It's a 1324 high, but these candles here rejected off 20. So there could be a double top here at play. Not really sure. I won't be shorting this at all, but if I was to short this, it would have to lose VWAP and break the neckline. So I'd be looking to get in below that, 250 area, maybe 2 mid-50s, because the wicks seem to be bouncing off 60. That's PONY. Nothing else for me right now, guys. I'm looking. There's a new small cap gapper that's weaseled its way onto the scene. It goes by YAAS. Look at this thing go. This one just started getting the volume under it right now. Looks like the biggest volume bar started manifesting less than 10 minutes ago. That's a 1235 candle. This thing is up almost 90% in a matter of minutes here. Basically did no volume from 9:30 until 1225. What the hell is the reason this is moving up? I don't see any reason here. I don't even have an entry from today. For YAAS. That is the name of this ticker. I'll give you the information on it in a second, but I'm not seeing a news catalyst on YAAS. Yuxin Technology Holding Company, primarily engaged in providing software, SaaS as a service, and platform as a service. There's something called PaaS. I didn't even know that. For retail enterprises, the company mainly operates 2 businesses, professional service, business engaged in providing customer relationship, CRM, and so it's basically B2B. Adara is going to talk about it, but this thing is up almost 100%, Joseph. Adara, what more information can you give us?
Okay, we're going with Adara. Sorry, Bitcoin here is starting to really move, guys, punching through those resistance zones that I was referring to. Now that volume is starting to step in. Once again, we want to keep it nice, calm, and cool, but 60-30 is when we're going to start to kick some off, so we're only 10 cents away from that right now with the Heliante. With the Heliante is going on here, but a big-time move in Bitcoin. This is exactly what we want to see. The Qs are just going parabolic right now, being led by the likes of maybe possibly NVDA. There's a lot going on in the tech space. Adara, what do you got for us?
IAAS. I just wanted to let you guys know I've looked into it. The last catalyst on this, or connected to this on Benzinga, was in March of 2025. So it's been a while since we've seen this pop up in the news. It's a Chinese company here, Yuxin Technology. A little bit of social media attention, like a couple of minutes before the pop. So people are definitely looking at it. I don't have any news. The float is not notable. Short float is not notable. Market cap is not notable. Interesting little runner here. I wish I could provide more context. But yeah, here you are. YAAS. Back to you.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Thank you for that, Adara. Yeah, so a big time move here in IBIT. You can see that we're punching through that Friday support level that I was referring to, and the volume supporting this move. So let's continue to hold on. Let's continue to hold on to this for as long as we can. The Qs are just going absolutely parabolic. Sippo Sunshine. We're going to go over the options chain on the Qs here momentarily, but a good look here in NVDA, JPM moving as well too.
All right, guys, invest in every sector you love, all in one stock. We're talking about 3D Capital on the CSE, excuse me, under IDK and on the US as IDKFF. It's a risk diversified basket of around 60 vetted investments. Get founder level exposure, the kind most investors can access in some of the hottest sectors. We're talking about blockchain, AI, IoT, biotech, and natural resources. Led by a CEO whose last venture returned 150x, baby. 3D is currently trading at a discount to its asset value per share, and they're actively buying back and deleting shares. The world's highest returning investments usually come, guys, from founder level access. Think of 3D as your ETF for early stage disruptive innovation. Shout out to 3D. Great look there, man. I happen to like that because we always harp on the fact that, you know, these private market investments are often for accredited investors, and you have to be accredited, which comes with a whole basket of requirements. And, you know, sadly, the common man can't invest in some of these at the foundation level. So looks like that's weaseling you in. Like the other ones we've talked about as well. What was that one that has SpaceX, Adara? Is it UVXY? DXYZ. Thank you, Adara. DXYZ. Like if you want to weasel into SpaceX, they hold it on their balance sheet and then you invest in them. In any event, digressing. YAAS, Joseph, halted to the upside at $6.61 with a theoretical auction price showing me $6.90. So this one is already slated to open higher. It is now up 131%. This thing is rocketing up. It's done huge amount of volume in the last 20 minutes, did almost no volume at all from the open until about basically 12:30. So 661 halt, 630 now theoretical auction price, so slated to open lower. We're going to keep an eye on this one. The top is zigging and zagging, a little above, a little bit below. But what you should know is that this one will open at the earliest. It may not open at that time. At the earliest will be 12:51.02 as it halted 12:46.02. Little trick, just look at your time in sales, see when the last print came in, and then you add 5 on top of that. So we're going to keep an eye out here for this bad boy, YAAS, Joseph, on the NQ, up 131.5%.
Yeah, great look, Sharif. I mean, the Qs are trading at $540 roughly right now, just a little bit south of that. We were just knocking on the door of all-time highs. So what a move here, guys. We'll call it 541 just to be safe. Previous all-time high on the Qs. Now we put in a high of around 540 exactly. Starting to pull back a little bit, but I mean, by the end of the day, it's not even 1 o'clock yet. By the end of the day, we can most definitely breach that and head to an all-time high in this market, which is absolutely insane. What a monstrous recovery here, guys. So you can see from the trough there, 34%, and we're just a fraction of a percent off of those previous all-time highs. Adara, what do you got for us?
What I have here, speaking of it being almost 1 o'clock, is in about 10 minutes, we have this 2-year note auction. So 2-year note, high yield, we're going to be looking at. Previous was 3.955%. As we get closer to the auction, I can let you guys know what the yield is right ahead of time. But it is worth noting, apparently, the bids for the 2-year notes total $6.9 billion. I'm seeing that come through. I'll keep you guys posted what's happening here. But yeah, market pretty strong. Let's see if this auction shakes things up as this often does. Back to you.
It's going to be important there.
I gotta, okay, so let's break this down. So, Joseph, my options haven't changed in price after NVDA moved up 35 cents and the theta is only $11. Something is fishy. Do you find that to be weird? The same price an hour back with 24 was 0.24. It hasn't moved. Yeah, I mean, the options market can be pricing in volatility as well, too. So there's a lot of things that you need to factor in. I would have to dig a little bit more into why specifically, and that would take some time. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It tends to happen. You got to think about it. It hasn't moved. You've also paid commissions, et cetera. So that might be reflected in your brokerage or in your portfolio as well, too. So just keep that in mind. There's a couple things that can come into play. Just the options market pricing in volatility, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so yeah, just keep that in mind. JPM is on a run right now, Sharif. So the financial sector leading that way here, I think, are in second place.
Get
so,
it,
yeah,
Casino,
there you go, JPM. It's actually one of my first contracts that I ever bought.
No way.
Yeah, my first option. It was Amazon, JPM, and XOM, and I swore after my XOM trade I would never buy options for energy sector ever again, even though it wasn't too much or anything along those. But JPM definitely went part.
Energy used to be a sick trade,
bro.
bro.
But it's just current. It's not right now, unfortunately. But yeah, JPM a big time move, and I mean I was buying this thing at like $150, which is absolutely insane.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah. So JPM just been on an absolute monster run. After this is old news, Sharif, but after they acquired, I think it was Silicon Valley Bank's book, right?
Yep.
SVB's book.
They did.
Man, the numbers were insane, right? So that's when I first really started to hone in on the fundamentals because I seen quarter after quarter, they were just blowing estimates out of the water. Yeah. And I'm like, there's something to be had here. And that's kind of what led me into that Robinhood trade, just seeing that style of growth. I'm like, okay, well, if this is reflected in JPM and I'm seeing the same thing in Robinhood, let's get involved in that. And Robinhood's been nothing short of a fantastic
and let's be
trade.
honest, Robinhood probably has more upside potential, at least in the short term. Right?
Exactly.
All right, guys. Big Bear AI, new high day. Interesting article by Zoltan Ban on Seeking Alpha. VinFast developing market strategy starting to catch investor attention. With competition strong in the U.S. and Europe, they're focusing on fast-growing markets like India, Indonesia, and Philippines. With rising oil prices as well, EVs are looking even more appealing. Q1 showed major progress for VinFast. Losses per share dropped from $61,000 to $18,000 per vehicle. It trades under the ticker on the Nasdaq, VFS, baby, VinFast. Definitely one to watch. And one that we've known about in Canada for a long time. As I mentioned, they've had a presence here in Toronto. Katina, man, where are you ringing the profit bell on Big Bear AI? Because every time I look at this thing, it's at a new high a day. 514 right now on the Baird one. This one keeps going and going and going, like the much forgotten about Energizer Bunny.
Energizer Bunny?
You know, I don't hear anything about him anymore. Where's he at, bro?
I don't even know where Energizer
What, they
Bunny's
cancel him?
at. Yeah. Right?
I don't know what the hell we're talking about, but I like it anyway. Jibber jabber, baby.
All right, Sharif.
Go.
Man.
EYN is freaking out.
No, but on it, the BYD, but we just sat in this Bitcoin trade since what? Since what time? 10:30. So now we're starting to run into that target that we were talking about, 60-30. I think 61s can even be in the work. I'm not going to say by the end of the day, but what a big time recovery on this. Way to Deontay Diamond Hand Wilder this year. So yeah, I mean, a nice look on Bitcoin. I probably should start to take some off. Yeah, I will just to be safe. I'm only going to take, about 25%, we'll call it. And nope, didn't catch a fill on that one. We'll try one more time here.
Get it again.
Just to lock in. There we go. So there we are. We punched through that high of the day. You're seeing the strength starting to be displayed in the tape as I start to take it off there. But that's okay. We like this move here in IBIT. Broke through that high of the day. There was add opportunities, but keep in mind we have risk measures that we need to obviously abide by. So yeah, there it is. Nice move in Bitcoin. Hope everyone's traded it. And sorry, for some reason my Google account logged me out. So when I send it back to Sharif, I'll just log back in. So that's why I can't communicate with you guys in the chat right now. So once I figure that out, that's what we got cooking. One thing to note as well, Tesla put in this nice base, and I mentioned you want to get in on the lows, right? Just in case it does decide that it wants to break through some of the support system, but you have a key resistance zone right there. You don't want to be buying the tops right now. I think you want to be patient and get in on the lower end of that range there, Sharif.
All right, man. YAAS is giving it all up, man. What the hell is going on?
Ellie.
These small... what the hell? These small caps For example, WFF moves up like 150%. It's almost negative on the day now. It's crazy. YAAS doing the same thing. YAAS moving all the way up into 6 3/4 or thereabouts, all the way down to 5. It might lose 5 over here. It's lost VWAP. It's barely above the 10 EMA, and by extension of that, it's barely above $5 as well. So the psychological level of support. So this one is giving up the ghost, and it's giving it up in a freaking hurry. Be careful, guys. Don't try to stay in front of this freight train, or as Neil says, try to catch a falling knife. Let it set up the right way, okay? Get it off key technical levels. Don't try to buy it where you think it's just going to hold up, even though the selling is still coming in fast and furious. It does look like it's going to give up 5 right now. Ugly, ugly candle just closed on the 5, with the only saving grace being the current 5-minute candle has a bit of a higher low. And they're both, the previous candle and this candle on the 5-minute chart are above that 10 EMA, but it does look like it might give it up here. So I'm not going to be punching in at the 10 EMA. I'm not going to be punching in at the $5 level. It just doesn't have a bid to speak of. And there it goes into the 80s and 70s. This one is giving it up in a hurry right now, so keep your eye out on that. Opposite story right now with our very good friend EYN. Now, I'm joking about that, of course, because we refused to trade this until it weaseled back above 9 3/4. It has done that now. And this current candle went up all the way to about 10 1/5. Down below 10 we go. So what I'm going to be keeping my eye on here, can we hold trend? And by trend here, I'm talking about higher lows. So any candle that prints a lower low will have me get out of this trade. The prior bar low, so the prior bar on the 5-minute has a 951 area low. We are at 994. So if this thing prints anything below 950, I'm going to stop out. So I'm going to look to get in somehow here to ride trend, and we're going to send you to Adira.
Take a look here at the market. Feds Williams speaking. I mean, Fed Chair Powell, of course, still testifying, but Feds Williams making comments as well, saying that tariffs may be adding 1/4 percentage point to inflation. Interesting note there. Also, be aware in a couple minutes, we're going to be getting that 2-year note auction. I will cover that if it's of note, no pun intended. But it's worth letting you guys know this doesn't always necessarily move the market. We will be aware of it, of course, and just letting you know, just in case, if you see any kind of movement there, at 1 p.m., we are expecting that 2-year note auction. It is a little late to populate. Before I send you back to the guys, here's our new infographic on X at TTV Research. We have FedEx earnings tonight. So with that in mind, here's a comparison of FedEx and UPS revenue. A couple fun facts in here. UPS didn't IPO until 1999, and it was the largest IPO in the 20th century. And FedEx wasn't known as FedEx until the year after, in 2000. Until then, it was the FDX Corporation. So for more fun facts and revenue comparison, X at TTV Research. Stay tuned for a very detailed BlackBerry infographic to come ahead of its report. Also after the bell, I'll probably be debuting that within the next hour because it's all good to go. Back to you.
Yeah, a big spot. I didn't see anything on that either just yet, brother. So, but we'll get into that world momentarily. But Bitcoin really starting to work out nice for us. We took a little bit more off there, nothing substantial. So yeah, there it is, guys. A nice look. Let's see if we can run into 60.50. I think that might be a target here, but we just got to be patient. If it comes back to my break even, then I'll just have to hop out. I also don't want to give up too much unrealized, but I want to stay forward thinking and just hold on to as much size as I possibly can through the bulk of this move here.
Katina Man's getting lit up over there, bro.
What do you got in the ear right now, Katina Man? Trophies. All right, maybe I shouldn't do that on the air, but that's okay. Hey, let's get. Ooh.
What up?
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you always used to put that up, man. We haven't seen that in a while. It's like a trophy kind of day.
Yeah.
You used to say that all the time.
Maybe we can start that. We
There
need
you
a
go.
belt or something for
A belt?
Just like a
I thought it was for a
WWE
different
belt.
reason.
Did you used to have a WWE belt?
And I love those things, dude. I had the WCW World Champion or World Heavyweight Championship,
Yeah.
that big one.
And then when you were wrestling with your cousin.
Oh, right away, bro.
It's
I was
not
like,
even that. It's just like, you know how
to
they
hit him with the belt. No,
yeah, all
man.
day. My cousins had like a real gold one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Like we weren't allowed to play with it, but it was just up on the mantle there. But,
all right, here we go.
Good stuff there. You're cooking up. I'm cooking up. Let's see if we can continue this move. 60.40 is going to be that next target. Hopefully we don't experience too deep of a.
Wow.
Weeble's at 11.25. All right, there you go.
lose it,
Katina Man's
bro.
really giddy today. He's on fire.
lit, bro.
Yeah, he's having a great time. We're all having a great time. Boom. Throw the combo, Katina Man. Throw the 3-punch combo.
Oh.
Yeah, he's too into it, right?
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Bang, let's go. This is the type of fun we have. I'm not going to hop into TSN. Oh, my day.
What happened?
What a big pop here in Bitcoin, Sharif. Let's go. Yes. Oh, my.
Katina Man's attacking me.
What's the move? We take some more on Bitcoin. Yo, this is insane. This is what we want to do.
Hey, get it, baby.
Dude,
Get it.
Everything. I'm like, Sharif, I'm talking to Sharif. I'm like, dude, I was on the timer. That's how not good things were. But there we go.
Bang,
We're right
Joseph.
back into this thing. And we still have more than half of our position right there. What a massive pop through that high of the day. And then now you're seeing that volume and momentum continue. This is exactly what we want here in Bitcoin. What a beautiful move, man. I find that I catch these breakouts live on air. Quite a bit. And we had a good time on that previous Tesla breakout, couple IBIT breakouts. This is what we do. This is why we sit on those trades. This is why we have diamond hands.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't have any diamond hands right now because I'm about to lose the bid on EYEN. We punch in at the 10 exponential. This will lose, it looks like, the 10 EMA. Topping tail above 1050, just south 10 1/3, and now it's dropping quite aggressively. So let's see, does it find support at the 10 EMA? So I'm going to go ahead and wait over here at 969. We'll see if we can get a pop back up there at Dara. What do you got?
I just want to mention here, we do have Fed Chair Powell finishing his testimony tomorrow. He's going to come back again for the Senate committee, and best believe I will be following all of that for you guys. Another 3-hour round of questioning for Jerome Powell. Also, 2-year yield before the auction coming in here at 3.787%. I have not seen the auction results yet, but again, yield before the auction, which as Sharif always says, that's the number you really want to look at, 3.787%. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. Back to you.
Very much for that, Adara. All right, here we go. EYEN trying to work back up, forming a bit of a hammer candle. There's a lot of selling, though. You can see how thick the book is on the way up, and it did not do this, obviously, on the previous occasion. So let's see if we can kind of pop up into the 60s. We get one print there, but it's basically not very much. Okay, so we definitely have to do a lot better. We'll look to weasel out some more shares there. EYEN finding a little bit of support right now, Joseph, off the 10 exponential, but this candle does have a lower low. So that is trouble for me. And there comes the selling all the way down, zigging and zagging, a little above the $0.50, a little bit below. Let's see how this cookie crumbles,
Dude,
my man.
taking a page out of your book and
What do you got?
Layering those orders out here. And we just got another fill on Bitcoin, guys. So yeah, let's go. Nice move here that we won. We broke through that high of the day, just absorbed some liquidity. And there you go. Now we're starting to cook up. Oh, what happened there?
What'd you do?
Boom, hit the money storm,
Okay.
and that's all it is, man. What a move here on Bitcoin. Sorry, guys, that we're focused on the 3-minute there, but now let's zoom out and see what we got going on in the 5-minute. Just building this position, holding it for as long as I could, and then sure enough, as soon as we headed that trajectory back towards this high of the day, you see that volume really start to pick up, and that's really important. I mentioned it before when we double topped. Not a genuine move, right? Effort and result. The effort wasn't there, and then we had this massive engulfing candle, so just keep that in mind. The volume profile is extremely, extremely important when you're day trading here, guys. So yeah, really big time move on Bitcoin, Sharif. Now we're starting to pull back in, but never mind that. The market is heading back towards the high of the day, 540, and we're about $1 away from printing a new all-time high in the Nasdaq, which is absolutely insane, but fantastic for this market. So be prepared. And I mentioned the laggards, but the likes of Google and Apple, that is, if they start to pick up some steam, watch out. Watch out for this market.
Absolutely. And what are those doing? Yeah, okay. We'll keep an eye out on that. All right, keeping an eye on Big Bear Big Bear AI as well. Let's change WFF over here to what is this one called? AMRN. This one's setting up well, quite close to the high of the day, so keeping my eye out on that one. Big Bear just printed another new high of the day, 515. Keeping an eye on that one. Don't really have a target for this. I'm gonna let this one go and see kind of what we get at around that 130 mark. We'll see if the volume wants to start picking up closer to power hour or what the situation is gonna be. But it's really the trade on EYEN over here that we're involved with right now. It's currently holding up at the 10 EMA with about a minute left, maybe a little bit less. On this 5-minute candle. I'd like to see if this one can test $10 again. It's above VWAP, it's above the 10 EMA, but it's still got a huge topping tail candle that preceded it there. So we've got, what do we got on? 49s, it's showing me 38s. So I'm trying to pack my patience on this one. I don't think I'm gonna give it too much below the 10 EMA. So we've already moved up the stop from below 9 into a bit of a higher level there. So there goes Big Bear AI, Katina Man into the high of the day, 519 for the Baird one. This one keeps on going and going and going. I don't know, is that Wayne? I was like, who's yelling back there? Oh, I know that voice. So Big Bear AI, 519 high. Keep your eye on this one. It's got 24% give or take right now on the day. So let's see how this cookie ends up crumbling, but it's a great day today for Big Bear AI. We'll keep tabs on that. EYEN still holding on to this one, looking for a loss of the 10 EMA. I don't know how this cookie crumbles, man. We're about 9 pennies out of the money or 10 pennies out of the money right now. Let's see if this can hold up at this level or what the situation is. We've got a couple of shares on this bad boy. Keep an eye on that. Pony as well, guys. Pony right back into that area high. Where's my friend Pony at? Right back into that 1305 area with a 1324 high. This one's done umpteen amount of higher lows. We'll see if it's going to be a flat top break through that 13 and a fifth. Adara.
Sorry, I just want to provide a really quick update here on the auction. It was very uneventful, and I'll show you what I mean. So before the auction here, it came, I guess we were seeing the yield at 3.787%. The auction came in at 3.786%. So that is right, 0.001 off. So almost exactly in line. Not a shocker at all. And we have this QQQ still making maybe a slightly lower high, pushing into 540s. We're near all-time highs right now, guys. Back to you.
Go. Yeah, we're really close to all-time highs here at Dara. I have it marked out on my chart here, so you can see right at that 540.83 level. That's going to be that all-time high. Bitcoin is starting to sell quite aggressively here, so I got to keep an eye out on this, guys. Can't allow it to go back to my break even, but yeah, substantially more breathing room here now on the day. So hopefully we can this breakout is sustained. We can continue this trajectory to the top side. But healing pain naturally, yeah. LMND's really starting to tank here, down to 44.15. So not too good of a look on this name, to be honest with you. And why? You're just asking why isn't it participating? Well, I mean, it's insurance, right? So Lemonade offers renters, homeowners, car, pet, and life insurance. The company operates through the United States, Europe, including the United Kingdom, providing your insurance products to customers through various sales channels. The company digital subtracts enables, substrate, whatever that is. So $3.2 billion market cap, but yeah, it's really tanking. Let's zoom out and see what we got going on from the daily. Oh, okay, I mean, that's not too bad, right? Like considering off of these April lows, you get a nice, that's a big time move, right? Like from that to that high, to that local high, you're up 87%. So at some point it's going to pull back. Maybe it's just been part of the space, right? So we can go back and look at UNH, et cetera. It's just not a really good look here for some of these names, Sharif. These
all right, man.
Names.
We got out of some trouble here. I'm kind of relieved with EYEN popping into mid-80s. We got a bunch of prints on. Now we got 40s. It's showing me 75s. Let's see if this one can continue above 10. My next profit taker is going to be above that $10 area, of which it's really had trouble staying. Now it's been above $10 multiple times. Most recently, where I punched in here, got stopped out, punched back in, added, and then we took some into 977. So here's the deal. We've had a lot of trouble with $10, so I'm going to put resting orders above that $10 area. My first resting one is at 10.05. Here's 88. Let's go, Mr. EYEN. Let's get above that $10, and let's take out those area highs, baby. 1075 area high. Very thickly traded at this level. 87s now showing up. 90s now showing up. Seller of note here at 90, preventing this from ascending. Keep your eye out on 90 right now. There's a seller iceberg order likely because there's really no size posted on any of the gateways, and I have them all. So we'll keep an eye out on this one. EYEN up, 80%. give or take, but still south of that $10 area. Now, if I had to guess, and based upon the chart pattern, we've got higher lows. We've been getting higher lows essentially since 12:15 today. So if I can pack my patience, I think we do get a decided break of 10. So I'm going to keep my eye out on this one. But Big Bear A frickin' I has got another new high of the day. It's a 521 area high. We've still got 90s on this monster. Great look here for Big Bear AI. Where's that other one, baby? EYN now showing me 97s. What's the high of this candle? The high of this candle is 94s. Excuse me, Joseph, not 97s. I saw that on the level 2. Got excited. I'm waiting at 10:05. Let's see if we can continue to work up here into here. Boom! We take out the level, Joseph Wilson. All right, let's set up a little bit higher now. We're going to wait at 25s. So 1025, next area out. We take 1005. Let's wait for that 1005 now. EYN. This one had me in some trouble. We are out of trouble with this one. Let's see if we can get that pop. 1010. All right, 10. Seller at 1010. 1015 now. Area high. Can we pop up into 25s quick as you like? We're going to pack our patience. Here we go. Now we got 20s. Big boy seller at 20. Prevented that one from ascending. Keep your eye on the $5 of a dollar. There's a seller there at the $5 of a dollar. So 1020, hidden seller as again, nothing posted on the gateway. But if the trend continues to the high side, hopefully we do get printed at 10.25 before we get stopped out. Here comes 1020 again. There's a 126 lots posted on Memex. Everything else doesn't have any size posted, only one lot per gateway. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Anish, you sound like you're in an auction. I know, my man. I've been told that before. I've got my little my little auction voice going on at the time right now. But what I'm waiting for, my man Anish, is that 10.25 break and take. Here comes 19s again. 20 again, Joseph. There's a seller at 19 though. Seller at 20. Can't shake him. We can't shake that seller. Look at that Memex seller, that little punk waiting at 125 lots right there.
You gotta talk.
Boom! Joseph, we take out that level. We're almost $1 in the money. Uh-oh. Boom, we are $1 in the money. There it is, man.
Hit it there.
Flatten out the trade, baby. Big move here on EYEN. Very pleased with this trade. Got us out of some trouble right there with the 940 long, and we just took out 1050 with the local area high now on EYEN, boys and girls. What is it?
What is it?
It is 1058 candle high.
Oh, it's still going. Are you all out of the?
All out, baby.
All out of
all
out.
there?
Yeah. All right, then, fair enough.
What you got?
Yeah, I'm just sitting in this trade here as Bitcoin starts to pull back a little bit. I still have exactly 50% of my position remaining there. So yeah, let's see what happens. I think this is gonna be a real pivotal moment. If we come back and retest those, then once again, there's zero chance that I'm gonna allow this winning trade to turn into a loser. So I'm just waiting for a breach. I wanted this retest. That volatility seems to have stepped in. Now we're starting to expand. So yeah. Maybe we can break through that 60-50 level. I got orders posted up on that one, so I'm going to be patient on this. So, but again, a really nice break. A way to hold through that. Waited for the specific risk to reward as well too. I told you guys 60-30. That's what we're going to be looking for. We did hold it about 15 cents against us, and then that's when we took 30 cents. To the top side, all right? So just trying to keep that risk to reward not so vastly skewed. There's something that I wanted to touch on. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to do. 8-ball. Is Bitcoin going to make an all-time high by the end of the week? This thing don't lie, guys.
Ball don't lie?
No, ever.
It's literally a ball.
Ooh, don't count on it.
Oh.
It's crazy because when I did it before, it said the exact same thing. So
I don't know, bro. Bitcoin's been, it's locked in that range, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, because to me, it's not selling off. So
yeah, that's the thing.
The
right?
thing.
Holding 100K.
Accumulation and distribution, Wyckoff, right? I mean, we know that whole thing.
Basic Wyckoff there.
Assassino reminded me oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to
the
interrupt.
play make?
No, Assassino was reminding me at the top of the show that I said, I was quite displeased with the small cap gappers. It shows you how transient these ones are.
Yeah, and then you just bang up Ian over
But there was nothing going on. Yeah. Even Ian at the beginning of the show was kind of bubkiss straddling VWAP, this, that, and the other. No, but Assassino brings up a good point, man. Like these small cap gappers, they march to the beat of their own drum, man. They're here at a whim, and they're gone as quickly as they came, and that's just the nature of the beast.
That is the nature of it.
Big bear time.
Big bear.
I tried to tell you 10:21 high, but you were jamming to your music over there. He heard, Katina Man heard it. Okay, okay.
He heard it. He heard it.
It's a 5:21 high on Big Bear Dang AI. Obviously, it's a fantastic move. But I told our viewer, I forget her name, Leanna, that I would look at Archer for her. And that's a great call out there, Leanna. It's very much in play right now, very in vogue with Donald Trump signing that drone executive order not that long ago. There's so many different names that will benefit from this. By the way, if you're interested in this, I don't know if you're looking at an investment or this is just a day trade, but CNBS, no, joking, of course, CNBC has got a nice video on their YouTube channel about the state of the eVTOLs, the electrical vertical takeoff and landing, which is what Archer and Joby and some other private companies do. And they're just showing you the nature of where the business is at the moment. You know, what the runway is to profitability, what the runway is, no pun intended, of course, for, you know, viability as a real and present form of transportation. There's already a project out in Dubai where you're going to be able to fly from the downtown core to the airport using Joby's electrical vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. And apparently, I've never timed this myself, but it's like over an hour and a half in bad traffic. And with that thing, you basically got 10-minute flight. So let's look at Archer from a wider time frame, and then we'll talk about it as an intraday trade. Hope you're okay with that. So it looks like it's a bit of a consolidation here, and it has been for a little bit of time. I want to say basically since the election onward, since Donald Trump won the election, looks like towards the earlier part of November, this thing's been on that good stuff. It looks like it's been finding support at the 200 moving average. You see that over here. You see that over here. And that was Liberation Day when everything in the market was dumping. It quickly retraced right above the 200. You can see it spent very little time below that blue line. The blue line is the 200 exponential, and the purple line is the 200 simple. I keep them both there just so I can have a better look. More locally, though, it's finding support at the 50 exponential moving average, which is the red line and always will be on my charts. I happen to like this one. I like the entire space. It's just about picking winners and losers. And I don't know which one comes out on top here. Is it Joby? Is it Archer? Is it a different private company that's not traded on the public markets? And there's one that they talk about in that video I recommended to you about a private company that we don't hear too often about. Now, that's the wider time frame. Intraday, it is putting in lower highs. It's finding obvious area of support at the 20 exponential moving average, which is the yellow line on my chart. So if it loses that 20 and is anything below this area low, like if it makes a newer low, so that'll be a lower high and a lower low if it loses this area here. So if it prints anything below, say 10 mid-50s, that's a lower high and a lower low. I'd be looking for a buy at 1046 at the volume weighted average price. That's where I'd be looking now. If it holds the 20, it doesn't lose the 20 moving average, so it doesn't break below 10.5, I'd be looking above that 1071. Now, you may not get either of those, right? You can consolidate, you can stay within a range. So hard to see exactly what Archer's doing on the day, but it's up nice, man. 6.1%. It's not a small cap gapper. It is certainly, Leanna, I don't want to say a large cap, but it's $6.75 billion. So it's not, you know, around for a good time, not a long time. No, this one's been hanging out, and you know it could be one of the best companies in the space. Guys, in your opinion, chat, who's the best eVTOL play that we don't know about? We know about Archer. We know about Joby. Who else is out there on your purview? Who else are you guys watching? I mean both private market and publicly traded companies as well. Throw it in the chat, tag Joseph or I, because I think this is going to be a burgeoning one right now. The Katina Man's yelling about Circle right now, so let's have a look at CRCL quickly, but tag me.
Wow, this thing is tanking.
Good.
With fears.
Oh, wow. Well, CoreWeave. Good. CoreWeave.
Don't leave me hanging.
Sorry, I was focusing.
Don't leave me
what the hell is?
there, man.
Why are they both tanking like that? They have nothing to do with each other. That's so bizarre. They're both short squeezes. That's a very good point, continuing. So CoreWeave, yeah, this one is still putting, man. Yeah, bro, yeah, I'm not standing in front of that thing. I'm not standing in front of that thing. CRCL, yeah, that one, this one's a bit more precarious, but I don't know anything of why it's dropping. Adara, if you can possibly have a look at why Circle is dropping or CoreWeave, they're both dropping quite aggressively. Say that again, Adara? Circle looks super technical according to Adara, and I have to agree, a 245 break there. It looks like certainly there was some support there that could have given way. Let's have a look at CoreWeave on the 5, Joseph. What do we got there with CoreWeave? Kind of the same look. We had that 179 kind of flat bottom with lower high, lower high, lower high. Oh, is this the mother of all flat bottom breaks? Man, look at that. That's a beauty right there with a technical break through that 179 on a decisive basis, Joseph.
Ooh, big time, yeah. Sharif, man, we didn't do this today. Maybe we can start our voting game here.
EHang. I like it. Hover. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place because people are telling us about the eVTOLs, Joseph.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I want to see exactly what people are talking about over here.
All right,
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, all right, so you're reading that. Let's start this game here, guys. It's very simple stuff. Sharif, as soon as you're ready, just feel free to interrupt me at any given point. This is how we do it, right? I just start the poll. Okay. So no, guys, start to put in those submissions. Are we running this, Fabian? Is this how I kick this thing off? We put the $ and then what we want to vote for. I've seen a couple, but I don't see them coming up on the screen here, how it was going in the background and everything along those lines. You're not talking to me. Oh, you're doing it? You're doing something to it? All right, then we just throw that to the side. If you're not ready, you're working on that. We're still in beta mode with that, so we'll just throw that to the side there. But we got some stuff with Adara. We're starting to experience a pullback here in Bitcoin. Let's see if we can start to slowly curl back over and then maybe go and test the previous high of the day. But a good look. And one thing that I also wanted to mention, guys, we're not doing it. I know everyone's throwing it in the chat, but we'll get that figured out.
It's working. It'll still populate, Joseph. It's been populating the entire time, yeah.
Okay, so now I just, I opened it up now, so now it's starting to work there, guys. Okay. So good luck. Thank you for that, Fabian. We're getting that sorted out. Now the chat's just going crazy. Good. We're not going to do that just yet. We like to wait for 200 submissions. Let's send it to Adara, and then we'll get right back to it.
I look into Circle and CoreWeave, no news, but these moves, I guess, according to people in the Twitterverse, because I did go on social media when I couldn't find any news, people are saying that these moves between CoreWeave and Circle are connected. Basically, they're both really, really hyped IPOs that were pretty recent. CoreWeave in March and then Circle earlier this month. And they both have flat bottom breaks on the daily chart, intraday chart here. CoreWeave flat bottom break here around 178.5, and Circle's, I think, a lot more obvious. And slow winding, it was at 245 level. It breaks down, and here we are. People are basically saying that these two are moving in tandem. And some people also comparing these to other recent IPOs in the last year or so, like Reddit and ARM, that were hugely overvalued, had massive IPOs, and at one point are bound to sell off a bit. So with all of that analysis in mind, Circle and CoreWeave do not seem to have any kind of, fundamental news behind their moves, but I'm still looking into it. If anything pops out, I'll let you guys know. It does seem to be technical by all accounts, though. Back to you.
All right, guys, so we're starting to get those submissions. Once again, thank you very much for that, Adara. The market is starting to pull back here aggressively. I was just about to say one thing. If Tesla decided that it wanted to turn its ship around today and start climbing higher, then I think that it was going to drag the overall market to a new all-time high. But yeah, we're starting to tank aggressively here. Pulling back in, I mean, we are slightly extended from the volume-weighted average price, but let's get back into our submissions here. All right, so we got about 128 entries. Let's get that to $200 and then the ticker that you want to see, and then we're going to start the poll. We can vote 1 or 2 and see what we got going on from that point. So I'll do it again here. I don't think it counts as, I can only do 1 submission there. So yeah, there we go. We got another one. So guys, make sure you get those tickers in. As soon as we reach that 200, I'll come back to it, and then we can start that poll. But Bitcoin's coming back aggressively, so I gotta monitor this. I do have 50% of my position remaining, but I'm looking for the continuation. So at some point, if I see it on the lower time frames, we'll zoom into the 1 minute. And if we're starting to slowly curl over, I'm not seeing anything from that standpoint just yet. But we'll be patient. We want to see some bottoming tail candles, and then that slow consolidation to the east side, and then that curl over. But it's starting to come against us right now. I have no issues with hopping out at the break even here. I can't complain. And then we'll just look for another trade. So yeah, unfortunately you give back a lot of unrealized gains when you're just holding on to things like that, but no worries on that front. Tesla making a new low. Let's pull up Circle and CoreWeave because I think that's going to be the hottest things. All right, now we're at 200 submissions. Good look there, guys. I might just flatten out here on Bitcoin, but I'll be patient to hold this 60-10 level. But yeah, let's take a look at Circle and CoreWeave as that trajectory to the downside. The momentum really starting to pick up there, guys. So take a look at CoreWeave, CRWV, a nice, oh, there you go, a nice hammer candle being formed there, actually. But let's zoom out and see what we got going on from the daily. Oh, yeah, at some point this thing has to turn around. I mean, what a monstrous move. Making generational wealth over here, Sharif, from the bottom there, 457%.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a big-time move there on CoreWeave. We'll take a look at Circle as well, too, to see what we got going on from a daily. Wow. Okay, yeah, $64 all the way up to 300. A nice 370% move. Now starting to pull back aggressively there. But that is a good short signal. I remember somebody in the chat was asking us about this, and there you go. You got that trend line break. We'll pull it in on the 30. It already broke, but now that momentum is most definitely continued to the downside there on Circle and CoreWeave.
Your boy, I Show Speed.
Yeah, who'd he
just
race now?
dusted another guy.
Yeah, I know, man.
He was challenged by this guy, and like I saw the challenge going back and forth. They raced yesterday. Speed just killed him. Did you see the race between Noah Lyles and Show Speed?
Yeah,
that was super close.
He actually beat him.
I don't think he beat him.
No, off the jump. He was ahead of him at the jump. Like he had a faster start.
Well, yeah.
And the thing is though, if this kid were to actually train
and not be a streamer,
right?
For
but
like,
he makes way more money.
Of course, I'm not even trying to tell him not do that, but like this
Sha'Carri Richardson won it.
And I like his personality.
I love his personality.
Okay, so usually like guys that old, not friends with them, right? It's just too much of an age gap.
Yeah.
But this guy, he's actually hilarious, and he's not annoying.
He's mad genuine.
Yeah.
I think
I
think
like
Kai,
Speed,
we talked about
man.
this before. I think Kai is a little annoying.
I don't like Kai.
Yeah. But Speed is actually man.
Like him.
The first time I seen this kid's video, he threw he like lit fireworks in his room and just went crazy. And it's like, yo, who is this individual?
I like him.
Yeah. He's a wild character for sure. One of a kind.
And he's a real athlete.
He's a real athlete. Real
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just gifted, I guess, man.
He's got talent, man.
He's got speed,
no question.
Man. That's why they call him Speed, yeah.
Sports and stonks. Sharif, there's an interesting thesis about how the short range VTOLs is highly competitive with some major players being Joby and Archer. There is speculation that a SpaceX Tesla team I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. But is it in Elon Musk's nature, and by extension of that, SpaceX and Tesla, to be secretive about their projects? Usually they telegraph. It's like Apple is the company we know that's super secretive about stuff. You'll get, 1 or 2 releases a year, September, WWDC, maybe some stuff they start dropping cheaper items in the spring now. We saw that with the SE and with some other stuff. But it's not really in Elon's nature to hide, at least not been my observation, to hide these sort of creations and designs and projects that they want to bring to market. So, hey, man, if SpaceX gets into it, fantastic. But not that I know anything about that. Let me know, Sports and Stonks, what you're hearing and the sources of what you're hearing, because I'm very much interested in this industry. I think it's definitely going to be a big boy industry. Needless to say, Adara, it's happening.
Yeah, we do have we're going to take a look at the markets. We have a bit of news coming from the EU, apparently warning that even a baseline tariff from the U.S. would still spur retaliation. So even if the U.S. administration or the Trump administration has just a baseline tariff on Europe, they're still going to retaliate. So something on watch there. I guess these retaliatory tariff talks are still omnipresent. Also, before we send you back to the guys, here is a BlackBerry visual ahead of its earnings report. This, if you can believe it, is the massive rise and even bigger decline in BlackBerry's annual revenue in U.S. billions. They actually IPO'd on the Nasdaq in 1999 following their TSX IPO in 97. They only changed their name to BlackBerry from Research in Motion in 2013. And by that point, the revenue already kind of slumped. So you can read all about this on X at TTV Research, just posted ahead of their earnings report tonight. We also have that FedEx and UPS infographic ahead of the FedEx report. So yeah, if you want any detailed deep dives, TTV Research on X is your place. Back to you.
I love this infographic, Adara. Thank you very much. Did you have a BlackBerry at some point in time?
I had one. I had one for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in school, I lost it.
year-wise, what year was that? Give or take.
When did I grad? 2012, I think.
Okay. So you
Or
caught
no, 14.
14.
Yeah.
Okay, so you cut the tail end.
Yeah,
I would
that
say
was
the good
super
days of
tail end.
BlackBerry.
Yeah,
Because
super
Apple
tail
had
end.
started dominating at that point with the apps, and
I had
BlackBerry
I had the first keyboard phone that I think it was a Nokia or something. You know the one where you flip like that and had the keyboard.
The Sidekick.
Yeah, no, it
Wasn't it
wasn't.
called
I don't think it was a Sidekick.
Oh,
I have no idea what it was. But yeah, it was the one that you just flipped up
Yeah.
like that and had the initial. Was it me?
N95. Oh, you're talking about the one that pushes up Assassino.
Yeah,
that's the
that
N95.
was like the chocolate.
Yeah.
That was the chocolate or something.
I don't remember.
My friend had one of those. No, but mine was like that, and yeah, I was the first one to ever have that
The keyboard. Yeah.
in my-
No, the Assassino. The what's it called? The N95 didn't have a keyboard. You had to actually use the numbers for the text and stuff. No, but BlackBerry. We're gonna go to Adara in 1 second. I think they really started making their push and started challenging. Well. Smartphones were super early, like 8, 9, 10. That was like, I would say, the golden age for BlackBerry, and then it went downhill.
I told you my story that one time remember when we were going on about the bank?
Yeah.
I told you that one story. I was walking down the stairs to go to the washroom.
Yeah.
The girl asked me for my number, and I pulled out the iPhone 4. And she's like, you don't have BBM? And I'm like, no. She's like, oh, BBM.
But BBM was the ish back in the day. Everyone
but I got the iPhone, though. I'm like, I got the iPhone. She was
You sing a different tune now if you did that. It'd be a completely different. She'd be like, you got BlackBerry?
Yeah, you got a BlackBerry? Like,
sorry to keep you waiting, Adara.
You got an Android? Come on.
I never had a BlackBerry. When everyone was BBMing, I had a Motorola Grasp. So with that in mind, here is MNMD. This is MindMed. This is the second MindMed related pop today, actually. This one coming from our favorite publication for psychedelic stocks. That would be Marijuana Moment. Marijuana Moment saying that RFK Jr., who of course is the leader of the Health and Human Services Department, is saying that the Trump administration could provide psychedelic therapy to military veterans within the next 12 months. Tons of RFK Jr. headlines today. This one right now providing a second pop to MNMD, which popped earlier after, I guess, there was some research circulating, suggesting that if you take psilocybin once, it can help relieve depression for 5 years. Back to you.
Crazy. I've been holding this thing since basically RFK was floated as a candidate. I don't know where this thing goes, but I'm gonna hold it.
Why not? Right?
I'm gonna hold it.
Maybe you get a boom in that. All right, guys. Yeah. So just moving on. I'm all out of this Bitcoin trade here, guys. So yeah, there it is. It came back. I'm like, all right, that's it. We'll probably come back to the break even. So just a couple pennies remaining, but I did have 50% looking for that push higher, but unfortunately it wasn't sustained. So that's okay. NVDA is continuing to climb. Google did pull back slightly aggressively, but yeah, let's go. 252 submissions. Let's start this poll here. All right, so 1 or 2. So I go start voting now, right? So 1 or 2, we got NVDA and UNH. How does UNH always end up on here? All right, 1 for UNH, 2 for NVDA. Let's see what we got going on, guys. I'm going number 2. Katina, man, make sure you vote there, brother, and Neil Roberts, because I know you guys are both in the chat. So you guys need to get that 1 or that 2 in there to see what we got going on. And so far, NVDA, oh, we only got, okay, 20 seconds. There you go. I thought we were counting down. You can only do it once, guys, so you can continuously press 1. It only, Katina, man, contributing to the chaos. All right, contributing to, yeah. There you go. The Dr. Evil laugh there. But yeah, there you go, guys. Get those votes in. Good stuff on this front. Let's see what we got going on. We're starting to, how many votes? It doesn't tell. Oh, 43 votes for NVDA, 18 for UNH. You got to go either 1 or 2. I feel like there's drastically more people putting in the chat, but you can only vote once, so maybe that makes a little bit of sense. So don't spam it. It's not going to add an additional 1. Look what you started here now, Katina, man. Absolute chaos. I seen he was eating his lunch. I'm starting to get extremely hungry over here. I was thinking about doing the hottest new segment called Jammin' with Joe, where we do testing food. There is cookies back there, but I don't want it to upset my stomach, so I'm gonna avoid that. Maybe we'll hop on and we'll do a little taste test later once the boys decide to hop on and I can get that lunch. But yeah, Jammin' with Joe. We're gonna end this poll here momentarily. We got 85. We'll get to 150 maybe, but that's what we got going on. All right, I'm gonna end I'm gonna end it right here. Winner, NVDA, ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Good stuff there, guys. Having fun with that one. But I also mentioned if Tesla really starts to get rolling here, guys. If Tesla really starts to get rolling here, guys, then who knows? This market can definitely head towards that high of the day. I think in the post market, we're going to see a push for that, and then maybe we get a gap down tomorrow morning or something along those lines. So yeah, keep an eye out on that there, guys. So that's it for me. We can do a quick trade review, and that's the thing, right? Like, we'll just go over risk to reward and how important it is. I started the day 0 for 4. Right, and then I had one trade that eliminated 60% of my losses. All right, so there we go, getting aggressive on Google. That's it. See, that's the thing too, right? It's unfortunate that Bitcoin's bouncing right now, and we got all out of it. We'll go to Adara in one moment. So here we go. You want to keep your outs and your losses relatively clean so that you can put on nice trades, but you also want your losses to look relatively nice as well too. So there it is, our 2 attempts on Google, and then we'll pull up TSLL. Those were our other 2 attempts, looking for the continuation and strength, and I got really aggressive there. So in 1, out 1, in 2, out 2 right there. So yeah, tough start, but then we just hold on to the trade on Bitcoin, and then we got that breakout. We were fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time. So that's what we got going on. Adara, what do you have for us?
This is Boeing, BA, and this one going to be on watch. Bloomberg reporting that EU's retaliatory tariffs that they threatened, as I mentioned earlier, could include Boeing aircraft specifically. So BA apparently could be, for whatever reason, specifically targeted, or at least part of the targets for EU's reported retaliatory tariffs. Again, the EU himself has not confirmed this, so they have said they are interested in retaliatory tariffs if the Trump administration even puts a baseline tariff on Europe. So even if it's not one of the higher tariffs that was mentioned during Liberation Day, even if it's a baseline tariff, the EU is still ready to fight back, and this fight could apparently involve or include Boeing aircrafts. Back to you.
Big Spile, I'm going to have to tell him after, because obviously that's not PG-13, and they've thrown it back to us. Oh, is there anything he says that's PG-13? All right, guys, I'm going to do the news in a second, but I want to cover the small cap gappers that are breaking out right now. EYN is looking very much like it is finding support off the 20 exponential and has been doing so since it reclaimed it around 1240. So we're almost an hour deep of that 20 exponential being absolute money for a dip buy. Okay, so EYN in focus, as well as Pony. Pony is cents away from that high of the day and has been putting umpteen amount of higher lows. It feels very flat top breakish, Joseph. So Pony and EYN, the best looking of the bunch, and Big Bear AI, who can complain about that one? Just flattened out that trade. We're going to keep an eye on that, but tell them what you got there, Joey.
All right, we got new traders. Listen up. First month, free. Where has Ozan been? That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan that QR code or check the link in the description.
Jerome Powell on the Hill. Adara's been bringing us the headlines today all day. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that were going to be presented for Jerome Powell. So he has his semi-annual testimony before Congress today and tomorrow. Today, where was he today, Dara? In the Senate? Yeah, no, the Senate or the House? Congress is both. The House. Thank you, Adara. So he's in the Senate tomorrow. This week's tone is expected to be more confrontational than usual, giving rise to political and internal pressure. Well, Adara apprised me of an exchange that he had earlier, more funny than anything else, but the point is there's pressure on him to cut rates now as a result of our very good friend Donald Trump over there. You're fake news. His allies, as well as the 2 Fed governors that he appointed, I'm talking about Fed Governor Waller and Bowman, all pressuring the Fed chair president to start cutting interest rates as early as July. Both Waller and Bowman, as I mentioned, Trump appointees, made recent comments indicating they are open to near-term easing, which is diverging, Adara, from Jerome Powell's more cautious stance. Tell us more.
Just be aware here. Here's KALV. This thing just took a massive drop to the downside. CalVista with a 24% short float. Endpoints reporting that apparently the chief of the FDA, Marty Makary, actively sought rejection of one of the company's drugs. This is apparently like completely unheard of territory for an FDA chief. KALV dropping to the downside. Again, the FDA chief reportedly sought to reject their drug. Back to you.
I'm really rich.
CME Fed watch tool shows, last time I looked anyway, Joseph, about a 23% chance of a cut in July, but 82% for a September move, so much more leaning towards September. Trump obviously been criticizing and continues to criticize Fed Chair Jerome Powell on his Truth Social platform, demanding, Joseph, that Congress work over the Fed chair and called for dramatic cuts of 2% or more. Obviously, experts think that that is unlikely.
That is, yeah, it's very unlikely.
Right? So we'll keep an eye out on that. Anything you have before we go on to Tesla?
2%. No, let's talk about Tesla.
Talk about Tesla. All right, so we know robo-taxi event launched on Sunday out in Austin, and already raising the ire, so to speak, of the national safety regulator. We're talking about the NHTSA. They're going after Tesla, or they're asking for more information from Tesla after videos surfaced online of the robo-taxi tripping out. So the NHTSA confirmed it is gathering more info and may investigate potential safety defects as it did with Tesla's FSD beta after prior accidents. Tesla has not issued a comment at the last that I checked, and that was in the morning. But the NHTSA reiterated that they don't pre-approve these vehicle technologies that come out, but they intervene and investigate afterwards if the safety of the public is compromised, okay? So that's the look there. The fleet that they're using for their robotaxi in Austin is limited to less than 24 cars, and they're only operating in good weather during daylight. Access is invitation only. Usually, these Tesla bulls, enthusiasts, as well as social media influencers, so obviously they can get the word out. Tesla trails. And by the way, I got to say something. The article that I reviewed today from this person who wrote it at CNBS, unbelievably biased. I had to filter through all the crap and bias that this person was writing to get the real story out. So if it seems a little biased here, it's not for me. Basically, Tesla's trailing and commercial deployment behind Waymo. That's completed over 10 million paid rides, as well as China. Baidu, they've got rides there, as well as WeRide, Pony AI, all running these robo-taxi fleets. What was the name of that reporter again, Adara? The one that, yeah, get in. There we go. What? Okay. All right. No problem. No problem. We'll get Adara in a second. Essentially, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm back. So there's a reporter today by the name of Laura Kolodny, I believe. Laura Kolodny. So basically, sure you've noticed that she wrote an article for CNBC about the robotaxi that seemed a little bit biased against Tesla and the robotaxi. So I like to do deep dives. I looked into her, and immediately we find, you can even find this on her Wikipedia page, she's actually was banned by Elon Musk on Twitter, which is now called X, and in my favorite interaction ever, on a post on Twitter, which again, she can't even see because she's banned, he called her Laura Liar Kolodny. So interesting look there. Elon is not a fan of Laura. Her entire reporting base, from what I can tell, focuses on these autonomous vehicles and electric vehicles more specifically. So yeah, interesting stuff there. That is my take on that. Back to you.
Shut the door.
You are fake news.
Yeah.
You are fake news.
You are fake news. Yeah, exactly. But we talked about
not
this.
Adara, obviously.
Obviously, definitely not Adara. We talked about this before. The Department of Transportation favoring Waymo's LiDAR more than what we got going on with Tesla. But again, when it comes from a scalable standpoint, Tesla will catch up, I think, at that point and just blow Waymo out the water, considering it's $230,000 a vehicle for Waymo.
Absolutely.
And then we can just have a software update.
We're not even talking about the same costs here, dude.
Not even.
Now,
it's not even
Tesla
relative.
still has an unproven concept because it's camera only, and neural network, right? Which poses a problem unless they're going to have physical cleaning devices to make sure the cameras are clean at all times, especially in bad weather. Like, think about Canada, dude. I mean, just December onwards, we got sand on our streets.
Salt is a big time.
Forget about the snow. We're not even talking about the snow here. So I think there are some logistical things that Tesla has to certainly overcome. But I'm very positive on it. Anyway, let's talk about NVIDIA. Jensen Huang, CEO, selling some shares. It was all planned. So he began selling part of the pre-planned sale of up to $865 million worth of stock by the year end, Joseph. He sold about 100,000 shares across 2 transactions, both on June 2nd and June 23rd, generating about $14.5 million. The initial sales are part of the broader plan, though.
Yeah.
So he's going to basically look to sell up to 6 million shares by the end of the year. And that was all disclosed, obviously. Despite the sales, Huang still holds over 900 million shares. Believe it or not, that's only 4% of NVIDIA. My man's a print factory over there. Where's the print store, my man? Oh, there it is.
That is crazy.
The planned sales, though, Joseph, represent less than 1% of his total stake. So everything that he was looking at selling there, 6 million shares, that's still less than 1%, suggesting the move obviously is more strategic rather than signaling any loss of faith in the company. So NVIDIA today up 2 1/3. AMD's up 6%.
Damn.
Dang, AMD. This one's getting back into that nice little range there. All right, let's talk about Waymo.
Oh, sorry, just one thing.
go ahead.
One thing about NVDA. So we've seen in the likes when I think it was the Bezos shelf that we were calling it, when Jeff Bezos was selling that 200, right? Yep. So now let's correlate this what we've been talking for the past 2 weeks with the options chain.
Okay.
We had no substantial news catalyst, but yet we were seeing high levels of open interest through a concentration of certain strike prices. Now that has lifted, so maybe that first wave of Jensen selling is now completed. Now the stock has more ability to follow the path of least resistance. And that's going to be to the top side.
Great point. And like that aside, you're looking at it from an options thing, and I completely get that. I'm thinking this has got a good tailwind, just fundamentally.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's nice when they both jive.
Absolutely.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Good luck. All right, guys. Let's talk a little Waymo and Uber launching their robo-taxi out in Atlanta. Shout out to Hot Atlanta. So Waymo and Uber have officially launched their public robo-taxis in Atlanta, expanding their driverless vehicle partnership. The service now covers about 65 square miles of Atlanta, but it does exclude highways and the airport, at least for now. Riders can book their trip, most notably here, guys, not through the Waymo app, but through the Uber app, which is a good partnership because if you're in San Francisco or you're in LA and you want to hail a Waymo, it's not through Uber, baby. Through the Waymo app. So the vehicles, as Joseph mentioned earlier, are driverless Jaguar I-Pace EVs equipped with Waymo's proprietary autonomous tech. We've all seen the videos online about what Waymo looks like. This marks Waymo's second launch with Uber after a similar rollout that they had in Austin. So they're doing business here in 2 cities, Austin and Atlanta. Unlike San Francisco and LA, where riders use the Waymo One app, Uber is the exclusive booking platform out in Atlanta and Austin. The partnership remains focused on passenger rides, guys. No plans yet for Uber Eats delivery integration, and I don't think that would be a good use of energy. We would need to figure out ways to get the food in smaller delivery vehicles. No point in having a big-ass car bringing me my food when you don't need
it's like
that.
$20 worth of food.
It doesn't make any sense, right? It's got to be drone-related or something like that. Just
bring in the robots. Yeah, bring the robots in.
Bring the robots. And we have a lot of delivery you're talking about here?
No, at the same time.
At the same time.
At the same time. So maybe you load up the Waymo like you do the ride share, right? Ride share.
Makes sense. That makes sense, yeah.
But by the time your food gets to you, it's most likely cold, so.
Yeah, no. It already happens, he says,
It already happens.
Shout out to Assassino, he's speaking truth.
Sorry to get off track here. Did you ever have an Uber driver take any of your food?
No, that's never happened to me. Adara's coming in.
Yeah.
So this happened to me on Christmas Eve once.
No way.
No way.
I ordered from one of my favorite restaurants, Red Lobster. This is, my friend and I bankrupted it, and he was at the point. So I ordered this, and I'm waiting for my food. I'm like, where's it at though? It didn't come. The guy said he delivered it over an hour late. It was never there. And I lived in a place that was kind of difficult to find, but I know he stole my food.
Did he take a picture of it? Like when you made the complaint, I'm assuming you made the complaint.
Well, I couldn't take a photo because I didn't have any food.
No, did he provide them with photos?
No.
That's what they do, Adara.
He never
did. They take a picture of it when they put it on your porch or whatever.
I think this was before that. I actually think this was before that, or this was like 2019. All I know is there was no picture, and I was very disappointed. And I did get my money back through credits from the provider. But yeah, that did happen. Also, one time my friend who was vegan at the time got an ice cream cake delivered to her by mistake. So sometimes these drivers are wild.
I love it. Thank you, Adair, for that.
Weird story. I ordered a pizza one time a couple of years ago, and the guy took a slice out of the pizza and then tried to.
What is happening here, bro?
Yeah.
You put your hand on my food? What's happening
Crazy.
here,
Got
dude?
that for free.
Yeah, clearly, right? Like,
Wow. Sorry, before we hop right back into the news, guys, I punched out of IBIT. And there we go. So Danny Q, you're like, I didn't see your message, but again, I don't know if I necessarily would have followed it, but it did come back towards my break even, and I couldn't hold it any longer, right? I didn't want to allow, I can't allow a winning trade like this to turn into any form of a losing one there. But yeah, it's unfortunate that where my out is right here, that's an add opportunity. And then sure enough, we head right back towards that high of the day. And on this trajectory, I think we're going to breach it and then establish a new one there. So yeah. Good lane there. I got my eyes on Tesla for some reason.
I got my eye on you. Let's talk about oil prices because we're still down, Joseph. We're not at the lows on the CL August contract, but we certainly were very low, $64 the low there. Oil futures fell sharply today after, obviously, yesterday Donald Trump announced a ceasefire between Iran and Israel, easing the fears that there will be supply chain disruptions in the region. Oil had surged nearly 10% in the middle of this month on heightened tensions and direct U.S. involvement, obviously, in the region. A major wild card during the conflict, most notably yesterday, was the potential for the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point for global oil flows. But that didn't happen. Thankfully, Barclays had warned if that did happen, it could have sent oil up over $100 a barrel, as about more than 20%, I should say, of the world's oil finds its way through that strait, with really no other viable alternative routes like pipelines, railroads. That's just not available there, or if it is, it doesn't have the capacity to handle about 20%. So good thing that didn't happen, at least not yet. Just to give you an idea here of what Iran is producing for the world in terms of oil. They produce about 3.3 million barrels per day, or did in the month of May, as per OPEC, making it a significant contributor, obviously, to the supply, the global supply. Despite the escalations, the broader Middle Eastern supply chain remains intact, helping ease the worst-case fears. And the IEA did confirm that they have about 1.2 billion barrels in emergency reserves, and OPEC Plus is looking to raise outputs as a part of the pre-planned strategy. So oil, taking it on the chin, and I couldn't be more happy because I have a V8 and I hate gas. So that's the situation there. Anything to add before we talk about the new Senate crypto framework?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Amazon has put in a new high of the day. NVDA is heading towards the high of the day. We were only about 70 cents or so, about 80 cents off of an all-time highs on the Nasdaq. So
that's
some big stuff happening right now, and I think it can happen if Tesla, Katina, he made me laugh. If Tesla can get rolling, then we can definitely put in a new high of the day.
Ooh. Amazon, $1 in the money. Shout out to the Katina, man.
The number.
Hey? Oh, well, more. Several dollars in the money,
make
baby.
Make sure you get it right, all right.
I know, right? Usually we need like 2 introductions of George Washington.
Yeah.
There it is, baby.
Is that 4? That's 4, he says. Let's go. Amazon's #1 customer.
Can I show you that daily chart on AMD? Look how far, though, we have to come from all-time highs.
I mean, it's still it's still 50% off.
Yeah.
Or what is it?
Fantastic.
Probably, about like 40, probably. About
clear
40,
trend line break, though. You got to love that.
Big time.
All right, let's talk a little Senate crypto framework. Republican Senators Tim Scott and Cynthia Lummis, you'll remember her as one of the biggest proponents of crypto in the Senate, they are unveiling a legislative framework today aimed at establishing clear digital asset rules. The future bill, which they're introducing today, will define when a token is a security versus when it's a commodity. Obviously, a good question of law there that we've seen brought up many times. It'll allow crypto exchanges to register either with the CFTC or the SEC, and it will look to scale back the SEC's oversight of digital currencies. The co-sponsors of the bill include Thom Tills, Bill Hagerty, highlighting the growing GOP alignment on crypto regulation. The bill seeks also to modernize the regulatory split between the SEC and the CFTC. And if you're wondering what this is all about, we had an issue while Gary Gensler was at the head of the SEC of whether or not he had jurisdictional control over crypto and tokenization as opposed to the CFTC, which is obviously covering commodities. This has long created a legal uncertainty for exchanges and issuers, and it includes obviously measures to prevent money laundering and sanction evasion, which is a nod, obviously, to ongoing compliance and the national security concerns that they rightly have. The framework follows last week's Senate passage of the stablecoin bill, which garnered, guys, about 18 Democratic votes, which is a nice bipartisan effort there, and very little in the way of bipartisan efforts right now between the Republicans and Democrats, save and except maybe for China and some other things. But nice to see that there is a little overlap here with Bitcoin. And the Senate Banking Subcommittee hearing on the bill is scheduled for 3 p.m. today, so in about an hour from now, which could reveal more about the direction and the industry impact. President Donald Trump has urged the House Republicans to move lightning fast on crypto legislation, obviously increasing political urgency. Joseph, anything you have to add to this before we talk about Amazon?
Amazon? No, let's talk about Amazon, because I wanted to. Maybe we'll hop into some Zooks, because I think that's something that's not relatively
brought that up yesterday. No, Zooks, very rarely talked about. Yeah. What he's referring to is Amazon's AV push, autonomous vehicles, called Zooks.
I don't know.
You're gonna have to do your
X, I think, or something
like that. Yeah. All right, today it's not about that, but it's big nonetheless. About 54 billion US dollars, about 40 billion sterling pounds, is how much Amazon is going to invest in the United Kingdom over the next 3 years. That's not a long runway for $54 billion. So the plans include 4 new fulfillment centers and upgrades to the existing logistic hubs across the country. The build-out is part of Amazon's bigger effort kind of to streamline UK operations and support the rising e-commerce and logistical demand. Some of the jobs are going to be created here, about 4,000, give or take. 2,000 jobs at the upcoming Hull fulfillment center. Shout out to the Hull City Tigers, baby. They suck during the championship. 2,000 Sorry, I take a shot. I hope nobody's from Hull City. You guys are great.
I don't even know where that is.
Don't worry about it, bro.
All right.
Don't worry. The Premier League people.
Yeah, the Prem people over there.
2,000 roles at the Northampton site as well. Keir Starmer obviously very happy about this, calling his strategy successful at attracting global capital. Amazon will also expand its East London headquarters. Shout out to West Ham, adding 2 new office buildings there. It also plans to improve the transportation infrastructure and the redevelopment of the Bray Film Studios out in Berkshire, which was acquired back in 2023. So a lot of money being thrown around here for jolly old England.
Yeah, jolly old England. I mean, but with the likes of Amazon Trip, we've seen them strike a deal in the Gulf countries as well, too. So a lot going on. They got Zooks. I think they're buying some AMD chips along the lines, too. So a lot going on with Amazon. We know that AWS is probably one of the best, if not the best cloud provider out there. So yeah, a lot going on at Amazon's pipeline. And just from a dark horse standpoint, we talked about Zooks. I know it's not necessarily what we're referring to, but man, never count Amazon out. They can most definitely gain ground and start to take market share in some of these big players in the likes of Waymo and then
you can't
Elon's, and then Elon's robo-taxi.
You can't. Yeah, that's crazy to write off this company.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Meta catching some heat here from the House. Specifically, the House Chief Administrative Officer has banned WhatsApp on all government devices, citing concerns about data privacy and security transparency. Staffers now must remove Katina Man, the WhatsApp app, from their phones and desktops if they had previously installed them. The Chief Administrative Officer of the House said, or emphasized, the move is part of the broader effort to kind of protect House members' data from cybersecurity threats. But there is some controversy here because he's not banning everything. So Meta spokesperson Andy Stone strongly disputed that decision, calling the characterization of WhatsApp security deeply flawed. Meta argues that WhatsApp's end-to-end encryption offers better protection than many currently approved apps by the House CAO. He responded and he actually said he endorsed Microsoft Teams, Apple iMessage, even Signal which I don't have a problem with, but we've obviously seen in the news with the guy that owns Signal being arrested in France. He sees them as secure alternatives to WhatsApp for whatever reason. Critics note that not all these approved apps, like the ones I just mentioned, actually offer end-to-end encryption as WhatsApp does, which raises kind of questions about the consistency of the CAO security standards. So we'll have to see how this all ends up being. Last week, Meta launched ads within WhatsApp, which is part of Zuck's bigger vision here of making the messaging app, Joseph, a key revenue driver, which it really hasn't been to this point.
Yeah. I mean, with WhatsApp, I think Zuck has this goal in mind, right? And we were talking a little bit about just his roadmap. He wants to make kind of Meta like the WeChat, right? So the WeChat, where you can, it's just an all-in-one method. You can pay bills, et cetera, do a bunch of these things. And then we also seen him offer some big-time signing bonuses to some of these developers out here. So a lot going on with Meta. These hyperscalers are just throwing cash around. Ridiculous. And I think that's why we continuously see this bull market run. We sold off. We had those Liberation Day lows, but the cash is still on hand, and they're starting to throw it around even
and
more.
We know they got that cash in spades, baby. They don't need to go into the debt market.
No,
or
it's just
fund, right?
So that's why they're just throwing it around. That's why I mentioned before, you see this leapfrog type price action. Who has the best AI? Who has the best LLMs? And you can see these big boys really starting to compete.
Well said, man. Yeah. Well said. All right, not much left on the show, but we're going to cover Circle here. Initiated coverage today by Compass Point. They actually rated it neutral with a $205 price target. Circle, I'm looking at it right now, it's down 11.1%. So a really tough day for CRCL. The analyst acknowledges Circle's leadership in regulated stablecoins, but he does flag the distribution limitations and the valuation. You'll know what I mean in a second there. So Circle is the largest regulated issuer, regulated because Tether is not, offering programmable features like smart contracts, chargebacks, AI integration, all that strengthen its position. However, distribution is king, quote unquote. Success will depend on Circle's ability to reach mainstream users beyond the crypto platform, and that has issues. How come? Because 60% of Circle's revenue, guys, comes from two sources, Binance and Coinbase, with 50% coming only from Coinbase. That's obviously very concentrated, and it makes the model a lot harder going forward because it's hard for Circle to negotiate favorable terms with new Main Street partners because it's going to be to the detriment of their current ones. So we'll have to see how Circle navigates this, but needless to say, price action speaks volumes, so to speak, and Circle's been very, very well received lately. Even Aunt Kathy, ringing the profit bell on Circle the other to the tune of like 690,000 shares, making like, I don't know, I think $190 million.
Just like that, eh? So there you go, gaining some ground from when she sold NVDA at the likes of
You're not going to let her live that down.
No, ever. At $10.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's literally what she sold it. I was at like $10 or something along those lines. So.
All right, we had one more story, but it's really not that important, and it is time now to send you to the big kahunas, Neil and Sean. They're going to be taking over Flex, and I'm Joey. I'll see everybody at the green screen, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Peace.
Have been told that.
The whole point is we are not network TV, dude.
I'm here like on pins and needles.
Like we don't have to stop at 1:59.